Hey, ladies of the Dabbleverse, I'm good at eating pussies.
Mumbling Nick in the back room glary, cool pineapples rules too strength to bear. It's the he said cake, you've got some flair. Time to break the chains and take the air. I will try my best, won't let it rest. With a mic in hand, I'll ace this test. From the shadows to the limelight's crest, I will try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best. Nick's voice stumbles, but the words ignite. In the chaos, truth takes flight. No more scripts, no boss in sight. He's got his dream, he'll do it right. I will try my best, won't let it rest. With a mic in hand, I'll ace this test. From the shadows to the limelight's crest, I will try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best. Nick's voice stumbles, but the words ignite. In the chaos, truth takes flight. No scripts, no boss in sight. He's got his dream, he'll do it right. I will try my best, won't let it rest. With a mic in hand, I'll ace this test. From the shadows to the limelight's crest, I will try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best. Interviews roll, stories unfold. Mumbling no more, his voice turns bold. Mr. C cheers from the sidelines cold. They go pineapple left in the cold. Now the studio's his, the future bright. Nick's own podcast is guiding light. No more whispers, his tone takes flight. He's soaring now with all his might. Yeah!
Taz, if you want me to go down on you, I will. I'll try my best. Well, Taz, first I have to ask my wife. Actually, Taz, first I have to ask. I can talk. First, I have to ask you first if I can try my best. Um, but yeah, then I gotta ask my wife, and she'll probably say no. But anyway, I'll do the show instead. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sorry I was late. I know I just kind of started promoting this like not even a half hour ago. I was planned on doing it all day. I just didn't know what time. I was hoping around 10, and that didn't happen, obviously. And unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but right before I was setting things up, I saw Rob Saul had gone live, and Rob hadn't gone live in fucking forever. And I know a lot of my loyal people watch Rob. That's where I met some of these people, so I was like, ah, shit. So I did put a cheap plug in there in Rob's chat. I was like, welcome back, Rob. Watch Rob, everybody, but open a second tab for me, please, just to check it out. All right. Anyway, we'll see what we can do. I think BYB's live still. Rob's live. I don't know. Maybe people will trickle in late. It's still not bad. We're doing all right. Oh, thank you, Def. Thank you. I appreciate that, my friend. I'm never gonna complain because we have been doing so much better with the as small as this channel and show is. We've been doing so much better the last few weeks. It's like something finally hit where I think Liquid can attest. There were times the intro we playing the Dabbling in Politics and we're like, 0 people here. 0. Please, somebody show up before we have to start talking. And you'd end up doing a whole show in front of 2 people. And now you got people waiting, and you usually hit at least 20 now at some point, if not 30, 40, 50. So that's fucking awesome. I can't even believe that's happened. Because we're fucking idiots doing this shit. Like, we even do things in reverse. Like, Liquid's the tech guy, and yet I'm the one that usually runs the show. You know what I mean? I can't talk. Maybe I got a goofy personality. I don't fucking know. But we both lose our train of thought. But here we all are. So anyway, that's enough scatterbrain shit for fucking me. So basically, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go over something. Hey, Ashley, thanks for showing up. I'm gonna go over something that my Dabbling in Politics co-host Liquid Cryptid did the other night. Was the last? I think it was no, not night. Yesterday afternoon. Liquid. No, yesterday evening. Something like that. Evening. Yeah. I was working late at work, getting a little overtime in another department, and yeah, I am so bad at that. Thank you. Hit the like button. Listen to Ashley. I never I never say like, whatever, subscribe, all that bullshit. I never fucking say that shit. I should start learning. Um but anyway, yeah, Liquid went live. He has a show he started the recently called Dabbling in the Verse. So I will the link to his channel is already in the description, but I'll throw it in the chat as well. I'll throw out the link to this particular video we're about to watch. So that'll help you sign up. But yeah, he's gone live the last, not tonight, but the last couple of nights or evenings, whatever, yesterday and the day before, to cover some of the drama we've been going through. I say drama. Look, I'm gonna be. I said brutally honest. I think like in a chat. Uh, I'm not gonna be brutal, but I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not gonna walk on like eggshells for some of this shit because it is stupid. It's not. I call it drama. It's just internet shit. This is what I currently do for like one of my hobbies. I mean, work 2 jobs, got a wife, got kids, you got all the stresses everyone else like Jake, if you're watching, that's something I don't think you understand, Jake. Still love you, Jake, but you always say things like people don't know I'm going through shit in my life, and I'm sure you're going through some shitty fucking shit, Jake. I don't doubt that for 1 second. But we're all going through shit in real life, Jake. We're all going through shit. So, um lay into me. No, dude, I didn't mean that. I meant I'm gonna be honest with certain. You'll see. You'll see when we get there. You know what I mean? Where certain times I may walk on eggshells, not insulting anyone. We'll call it like it is. We'll say like, we'll just say we'll call it like it is. We're calling balls and strikes tonight. That's what we're doing. All right. Um, but yeah, so this is something I do as a hobby now. I never thought it would be, but it's fun. For the past bunch of years, I mean, I used to play fucking co-ed softball at work. That was my thing. And then the knees and ankles really gave out. They got fucked up when I was young, when I was a teenager and in my 20s. So by the time I got to my mid 30s, they were just fucked. And now I'm in my mid 40s. So I like calling you Liquid. I don't want to call you Cryptid. Oh, Mr. Blue Sky, thank you, my friend. Walking on Eggshells sounds metal as fuck. Yeah, that'd be a great band. Or starring Mr. Blue Sky, Walking on Eggshells. But yeah, so I just stumbled into fantasy sports has been my fucking thing ever since I got beat up and old, because it's on a fucking computer. It's on a laptop, it's on your phone, whatever. Yes, Ashley, that is very true. I do try and think about that all the time. Everyone's going through fucking something. Sometimes you know what it is, sometimes you don't. You know what I mean? But yeah, so anywho, yeah, this is just my thing. So sometimes when things get a little dramatic, I have to remind myself this is just stupid internet shit. I'm gonna be totally honest in a part where when I get to it, actually, I don't think I'm gonna end up showing it because it's on a different video, but I'll bring it up. I'll just bring it up now. I'll just get it out of the way. So for those that don't know, I think most of you know at least some extent because you've been here for the last few lives. But I did that live at like 3 in the morning. I say Saturday, but technically it was Sunday, I think, because it was 3 in the morning. I did like a 45-minute, 50-minute thing on Jake Hudson. I had been, I think, stewing was the word they used. Not stewing, but I don't know. I started, and I'll admit some of this could be my own faults, but some of the things Jake started to do started to bother me. I used to laugh at all this shit that Jake did, and I still laugh at some of it, and I always give him an out, because he's highly autistic and all that shit. But I noticed certain things started to bother me, the way he was treating people, and I had been warned about this for a very long time, and I just put it aside because I like to. I don't know. I know I'm not the only one. I've heard other people say that. I think Ashley, I think you've said this. I too am one of those people that I like to learn about people myself. I don't want to just take someone's judgment on it. Now, if it's someone I trust and they're like, "Hey, be careful with this person because they're nefarious. They'll do this, this, and this," I will proceed with caution. I will take that advice. Don't get me wrong, but I still want to make my own opinion. And and to be honest, I kind of fucked this up because Jake never really came after me until he saw I blocked him, and until Ava went on with him and some other people on Bobby Nick to tell him that Liquid, Krishan, and Chris Peeps and I trashed Jake, which we did not do. And as I get into this is what makes this complicated because knowing Ava like I do, I said this was most likely tongue in cheek, whatever you want to call it, a bit, a work, whatever. And it became more obvious to me that it was because she kept escalating it. Um, and so I played it like a bit for a while, and I'm not mad as we watch the video. I don't even think Liquid's mad. I just think he's I don't want to speak for him, but he'll say it. He's but now he's done. He's done with Ava, and I told him I'm not done with Ava, but I did get frustrated or irritated at a couple parts. As we go through the video, I will show you which parts. Um, because I feel I have a good sense of humor. I'm not saying I'm funny, but I have a good sense of humor. I can take ball busting with the best of them. Self-deprecating. I feel like I'm pretty. I what's the term? I keep forgetting. I that's people. I'm not in denial about myself. I know my shortcomings and all that shit. Blah blah blah. So I can take it. As you watch the video, you'll see my masculinity got called out at one point. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if anyone online calls out my masculinity or any of that fucking shit. Means fucking nothing. It's not real life. I don't take that bait, so I'm fine with it. Um, now Jake is on. No, now Nick is on Jake's hit list, and for good reason. Yes, yes. Jake is spreading the word. That's the other thing. He's been going on. I don't know what he. I don't know if. Oh, today I watched. I don't know if I watched all of his live, but when I watched, he didn't mention me for like the first time, but he did mention Liquid. He did say to Bobby that I forgot Liquid was in my. I think it was Discord. So Liquid, you're out of the Discord group. You got the boot today by Jake. Um, but but yeah. So I just see there it is. I lost my train of thought. What the fuck was it? Oh yeah, I was saying it's online shit. I don't care what fucking people say about me or think about me for the most part. I care about real life shit. So that shit it didn't bother me when it happened, but this seems like a special situation if it makes any sense in that Jake is not going to understand that what Ava was doing was a work, was ball bust. Like Jake didn't take it that way. Now, to be fair to Ava, a lot of the way she said it, I could tell she was kind of playing it up, you know what I mean? But Jake can't pick up on those cues. So there were times where I was trying to explain for real because like I said, I don't take this too seriously, but we are dealing with someone who's highly autistic, ADHD, has a lot of issues and a lot of problems in his life that we, as I say, we all have issues that I think Jake doesn't realize. I think he thinks he's the only one that does sometimes, but we all have them. But Jake was dealt a shitty hand. And so sometimes you got to do things a little differently. And while I don't care I don't care that Jake blocked me. I don't care that he's met, I just wish it was over the truth. There was something he said, and maybe I'll find it. I know he said it on the live stream where Ava went on. After we did our whole thing, the five of us on Jake. And when Ava was telling him, that we were trashing him in this, there's a part where Jake goes, I thought I thought Nick was my and then he stopped and he's about to say I thought Nick was my friend. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a gut punch because I never knew how fake Jake felt about me. Because he says love you brother to everybody, so you never know how Jake feels about you. You throw him $5 and he loves you. I noticed I think it was yesterday, J-Mo showed up in his chat for one of the first times, and J-Mo, I like J-Mo, but J-Mo's one of the hot names. So Jake was like, J-Mo, I'll send you the link, brother. I'll send you the link, brother. And then when Jake did and J-Mo couldn't come on, but when Jake did his top 10 podcast of the week, J-Mo was number one. And J-Mo doesn't have his own show. So it's like Jake just, I think Ava was 2 or 3 because she had defended him. And don't get me wrong, I've been on that list a bunch of times. It's not real. It's not who he's really watching, who he really thinks does the best shows. It's who's nicest to him that week or who he thinks is the hot name that week that's going to get him something. It's both. You know what I mean? If you're good, nice to Jake, he'll appreciate that and he'll put you on the list. If you're like the hot new fucking commodity, he'll put you on that list. So it's not real, but I was just saying, like, it's tough to know how Jake feels about you because of that. So when he started to say, I thought Nick was my friend, I felt awful. And I still feel bad about that part. There's so many parts I feel bad about during this whole thing. If I could take it, I don't know. Like, I don't want to get over dramatic. If I could take it back, uh, maybe I would, but I know me. I would have done this down the road. I just would have kicked the can down the road because I was starting to get these feelings. And well, so Schmiel, that was and Jen, Jake's gonna Jake. That's the thing everyone was saying. So that was the whole point of the solo video I made or the solo live stream, and the one I did with Liquid Cryptid, Krishan, and Chris Peeps, and then later Ava when she popped on, was when we say Jake's gonna be Jake, are we harming him? Are we enabling him? Is I think the term I used. Because sometimes Jake being Jake is very harmful. It's not good. It's you know, I saw him threatening people in streams lately. Luckily, and this is not going to be well, I guess it's a snipe. Luckily, not a lot of people watch Jake's stream, so I don't think the people he threatened even saw it. But if he threatens people the wrong way, he could get fucked, you know? Either litigiously or and don't get me wrong, the odds of somebody going to fuck with a highly autistic dude in person is not likely, but I've heard shit like that's happened with Jake before I got involved with Jake. Hey, Vagina Wrinkle, good to see you. Either you left Rob or Rob ended. So either way, you got both tabs open. Either way, good to see you. Yeah, so what I was saying is, yeah, letting Jake be Jake, are we harming him? Because like I said, even though this is just the internet, it's bullshit. Everyone has different level. I know people actually, and I don't know what's right, I don't know what's wrong. I'm not judging. Some people think, no one on the internet is your friend, right? Some people think there's a separation. Like, yes, I'm friendly with if I'll even say he's an internet friend, but he's not equal to my real life friends. That's where I'm at. I will say I'm friendly with these people, but they're not like my real life friends, like the best man in my wedding and all that shit. But I've gotten close online. Like there's always, I think it's almost like its own extra thing. You know what I mean? It's not real. It's its own extra thing. And then some people, they do consider them friends. And obviously that's where Jake's at. And I'm not saying one's right, one's wrong. It's just, I think it all depends on your mindset and what you have going on in your life. Right. I'm sure, I think part of it for me is my age and where I turned 47 at the end of this year. I was born in 78. I am Gen X. So the internet was kind of invented while I was in high school. It wasn't what it is today by any means. I didn't grow up with it. I actually fought it for a while because I thought it was I fought social media for so fucking long. I was one of those guys that wouldn't sign up for I never had a MySpace because I boycotted it during the whole MySpace craze. I finally got talked into a Facebook, at one point. So I fought all that shit. So I think I see it differently. I see a separation between real life and the internet. But I meet these people and I become, I meet them online and I become friendly with them. So I consider them internet friends. That's all. Not different from real life friends. Oh, we got Bobby Nick. Thank you, Bobby. He threatened to hire someone to come to Canada and beat me up. You got to just let it go. Well, like I said, Bobby, that was the thing. So that kind of thing, I obviously wouldn't take Jake serious if he did that. But Jake's trying to tell me that Aaron Imholt's trying to do the exact same thing to him. That Aaron Imholt is going to hire someone to come beat up Jake in Mississippi. So in that video I made, one of my advice pieces I gave out was, Jake, I don't think that's true. Now, obviously, I don't know, but I don't think that's true. Now, if it is true, you need to call the authorities, especially on Aaron, who's been in trouble with the law already. They'll take it seriously, right? If it's not true, or you're not sure if it's true, don't say it because, that could cause you problems. it's something I noticed lately with Jake that I'm a little less concerned with, but it could turn into something. Is whenever I see someone mention something, he tries to incorporate himself. Like he thinks Aaron Imholt's gonna send him one of those, uh, one of those restraining orders that he sent to, fucking Melton and all that. And he's all supposedly worried about him. Like Jake, he's not gonna do that, And when Pulper was going through the whole heat stroke thing, days later, Jake's like, I think I got heat stroke. So it's like it's kind of like kids do that shit sometimes. So I think and I'm not trying to be a dick. I think he has and Bobby, you would probably know better than anyone here. He probably has like a childlike mentality with certain things. Now, Jake is very intelligent. He has a great fucking memory. And one of the other criticisms or advice I gave him was when he does solo shows, don't ask for money so much and don't sit there in silence. I was watching shows from Jake 2 years ago, and he didn't used to do that. He didn't ask for money nearly as much back then as he does now. And when he was by himself, he would just talk and interact with the chat, and it wasn't all this silence. So I think he'd be better off show wise and financially if he did that. Now, Jake is big in the celebrity. He got Tony Reali, which was amazing, and I know he wants to get more of those guys. So if he wants to get those guys, I think that's what makes him the happiest. He doesn't want to be putting out live streams where it's 50-minute show, 42 minutes of it is silence, and the other 8 minutes is him asking for money. So he's not going to get those guys that way. So it was just advice I was giving. But anyway, I've rambled way too long on this intro. So I'm going to bring up the live stream that my online friend and Dabbling in Politics co-host One Liquid Cryptid did yesterday. So he did this yesterday. He did another one the day before. On I think I forget what the one the day before was on. It had something to do with the Jake stuff too. But this is covering me and he has two clips, well, two sets of clips he goes through. Packages, if you will, Daddy. Packages if you are a TSN fan. Yeah, I believe the first package is when I went on Bobby Nick's stream with Ava, and we had our little thing. Oh, what's up, Krishan? How you doing? No, sit tight if you don't know about any of this. Pretty good. All right, yeah, just to fill you in real quick. Right after we went off the air the other night, Ava went on with, and I'm actually not going to cover that part. I'll give a quick explanation. Ava went on with Jake and Bobby Nick, Matt, and somebody else. And told her the show we did, but she said we trashed Jake and all this stuff. And it was very tongue in cheek. I talked to Matt and I told her, I can tell Ava's doing like almost like a Benji Bronk type bit or whatever you want to call it. But obviously Jake wasn't picking up on that. And, so that's when Jake blocked Liquid. He went to block me, and sorry, I blocked him first. So that became a whole thing. So then he's been talking about us, not incessantly, but pretty much every live stream he's held himself or gone on since, he's brought at least one of us up and saying we all hate him, even though we all say we don't hate him, even though even Ava says we don't hate him and everyone says we don't hate him. But yeah, so that happened. So then the next day, Ava was on with Bobby, Nick, and Wendy and all them. And then I came on. So then Ava and I went back and forth, and we had a little bitch fest. Again, a lot of it ball busting, tongue in cheek, but also I was playing it. I'll tell you when I get to it what I was doing, but I was playing my part. I wasn't trying to make it serious, and to Ava's credit, I don't think she was trying to make it serious either, but not everyone was picking up on that. And then anyway, then Bobby ended. Then I think he did like a live stream with Jake for like 30 minutes or something. And then he went live again, and Jake came on at the beginning, said his piece, made an official statement. It was I love that about Jake. It sounded like he was a politician who got caught in a scandal and had to make an official statement, but it was just about us. And then Ava came on again and talked whatever she said. So Liquid's covering that. So I will now cover my opinion of what my co-host did, and I will also explain things that went on, what was in my mind when during the whole show with Bobby and Ava and all them. So here we go. Oh, anyone that's not subscribed to Liquid Cryptid's YouTube channel or his Kick channel, please, either now or later on, his information is in the description of the video. That's the other thing. He did really well here. He did really well. I was listening to this while at work, but it was a situation where I couldn't comment or even really watch. I was just listening to the audio, and I was very entertained. So I told him part of it I might be a narcissist because a lot of the subject matter contained me, so maybe that's why I was entertained. But I think he did a great job. So please give him a like and a follow if you can. So he's going to be doing more of these dabbling in the verse things on shit going on in the Dabbleverse. So here we go.
Welcome to Dabbling in the Verse, the only show on the internet that starts on time. Okay, but not without issues. I have an overlay that I wanted to do, but there we go. How about we do this? And it has no audio, of course.
Real quick, Krishan, I can't remember if so Jake makes the statement in the second package. I can't remember if Liquid played any of the statement. If he doesn't, I will play it at the end. I just love how he described it as like I told everyone in the chat I was gonna make a statement about what was going on with me and and he named us or something. So yeah, that was Jake being Jake. That's the Jake being Jake I can deal with. I think that's endearing. It's some of the other stuff we had to call him out for.
As Jake upset with me and Mumbling Nick. So here we go.
I got a couple haters that want to hate on me now.
Who's hating on you?
OG Mumbling Nick.
Who's Mumbling Nick?
Who is Mumbling Nick and Liquid Cryptid indeed? Real
quick on that. So I don't really watch, obviously I don't care. I don't really watch Chat's channel, so I give him, I figured he would have said that, but he said the same thing literally weeks ago. So he knows who I am at this point. I DM'd him and I DM'd back and forth like back in January over a certain baseball player, and I will leave it at that, who's left the Dabbleverse. So he did know who I was, but that's pretty much the only interaction we've ever had. So I didn't, I got in a little, J-Mo made a video on me like a few weeks ago, and Chad was watching it, and he's like, "Who's mumbling?" He said, "Who's mumbling Nick?" like 30 times. So I was laughing my ass off. I clipped some of it. So that one could be real. This one, at this point, unless his memory sucks, because he was just he was asking who I was weeks ago. So anyway, Chad, I am OG Mumbling Nick. On the screen is Liquid Cryptid. Good to meet you, pal.
That was from, I believe, I want to say yesterday. Jake was on Chad Zumach, and he had been hearing a mouthful of me and Nick from none other than everybody's favorite Ava Raiza. Yes, she's been pretty much lighting up me and Nick for the last couple of days, doing her media tour with Bobby Nick, and telling everybody what scumbags me and Nick are for doing things like exactly what was happening on the shows she was on. Just literally, they're talking about the same exact shit about Jake. Well, not exactly the same exact shit. We'll get into that in a little bit. For right now,
spoiler alert: my co-host and my number one guest are now on the outs. So it's and I even, like I said, even I got irritated at some times. I will let you know when those times are. But yeah, I believe for now, I already said this. Never mind that. Yeah, Liquid and Ava, or Liquid is done with Ava, I believe.
Now, I want to talk about the show earlier yesterday. Was it? Oh man, I forgot to link it. It's Bobby Nick's. It's like chill number 41 or whatever, chill out thing, where she and Nick got into it because of course they did.
So Mumbling Nick, yes, last night you chose to do a show. I actually didn't see it. It was all mostly about Jake Hudson, right? Mostly about Jake Hudson.
Yeah.
And they still haven't seen it.
Let me back up real quick. So the night before that, I did I did a stream, just me. It was less than an hour. It was something I've been thinking about doing for a few days. It was more like a solidarity thing for like Krishan and Pulper and some other people that, Jake did what he did because of.
Hold on, Jake blocked Pulper?
No, so I don't know if he blocked Pulper. I think he kicked him out of the stream though.
I'd just like to say I don't believe he actually blocked Pulper.
I just want to say what's about to be described. I wish I took screenshots of this shit. Just because now Jake has kicked me out of the group, so I can't take him now. But I think I do a shitty job explaining it here. But pretty much, Pulper gave a lot of money to Jake through electronic Amazon cards in back-to-back days. I think it was $450 was the total, and Jake was very excited, very thankful. Spent it real quick. And that part of me doesn't even blame him for that because I'm guessing Jake doesn't have a lot. I don't know. But then in the chat, Jake was spamming for all his links to give him money and stuff. And Pulper was like, hey, Jake, sorry. Like pretty much apologizing for not being able to send him anything right now, saying he has bad heat stroke. Heat stroke almost killed him 15 years ago and he's really sick. And instead of Jake sending out, best wishes, sending out his hearts and blah, 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 he didn't even acknowledge it, just sent out, he's like, Pulper, here is my email address. Because earlier, Pulper, like a week or two earlier, Pulper asked for his current email address to send him the e-card. And then when Pulper didn't respond, he sent his wish list on Amazon. Then days later, Pulper gives him an update on his health, and Jake responds again with his wish list on Amazon. So, when Pulper was sick, Jake never acknowledged it, just kept, every time he saw his name, he just spammed, send me more Amazon shit. So it bothered me because I know Jake knows better than that.
I'm not exactly sure how that went. I think Nick was just upset with how he was treated. But
that was going on with what's her face, the Ashley Cummings stream. I think he kicked him. It wasn't like a block. I think he was timed out or asked to leave. But God, all right. There's like a side thing on that group chat that Jake always has set up. I know Pulper 200. I'll skip
Mumbling
since I
Nick's
just explained it.
account of what happened. It's pretty much my same account of what happened. And he does a really good job of explaining it, maybe better than I did, but it's a really good explanation to these guys who will not and cannot and would not actually watch any of this. That goes for Ava Raiza.
In the same week, right?
Yeah,
and Jake was very appreciative.
He was.
And everything. And then remember, like a little while later, Jake's doing his thing, like looking for, spamming the chat with the cop. I have
fuck you.
I have heat stroke, and I expected Jake to be like, oh, but there was no response. He sent his Amazon wish list. And then a few days later,
I'm Mumbling Nick.
It's a big part of fuck you. And then
what's funny is after this, they all started agreeing with Nick and disagreeing with Ava.
And then Pulper a few days later was trying to explain, yeah, Jake, I'm still sick, this and that. And it was just the Amazon. Like, it surprised me because I see Jake always like trying to help people out publicly. Like, hey, this person's losing their house. Can you help them? Send out the GoFundMe, or this person, whatever. So I was surprised that someone that was very, generous to him with their money, but it seemed like that's all Jake saw them as, his money. So it kind of bothered me. I didn't know if I was misreading it, but that was part of it. But the Krishan thing and how he was like, I don't know. Like I even said in the video, I'm not mad at Jake for kicking Krishan out. Jake was put in a tough spot. He had a guest on who he really likes, and she was asking him to get people to leave the chat. And so he did, but it was kind of like how he can't.
And we talked about this on the show that Ava is so pissed about over us, calling us a bunch of yentas and chicks and broads. We all said that if it was our show, which Bobby Nick is about to talk about, if it was our show, we would not kick him out. But we all understand that for Jake, this is a dilemma. And this is maybe a part that Ava didn't see or understand or want to listen to.
You got it. That's what he does.
Well, I was
But
just gonna say-
I did think that was pretty unfair of her to do.
Exactly, and that was
right.
our point.
I even said in
Hey,
the
Ava.
video. And
Hey, Ava, why aren't you pissed off at Bobby Nick right now? Why aren't you yelling at Bobby Nick? Because this was exactly our fucking point on this.
so, all right, I'll just comment on this real quick. So, I have publicly said, I said it in the live stream. Out of everybody there, I'm the one that doesn't. I think I have the least issue with. I actually like Ashley. I think she had an off night. I even talked to her about it. Hope she doesn't mind me saying, as I usually don't share quite private things, but I think this helps her cause. She's like, yes, I had a really bad week. I had been drinking because I had never really seen her act that particular way. So, not giving her a free out, but I told her, I don't judge people on when they have like a bad night. So, chalk that up to it makes it even worse for Jake because Ashley, the alcohol was, making or exacerbating things, that she was requesting. So I don't even know if she would have requested that Krishan got booted or whatever. Yes, Nightwa, Daytwa, you that was one of the funniest parts of the clip when Jake asked you to leave. All right, thank you, Ashley. Yeah. So that's all. Like I said, I think, it's no secret. Jake has publicly said that he has a crush on Ashley or is falling in love with Ashley or whatever he said. I believe those words were exact pretty much. But so, he did what he did. And that's just all of us, I don't want to speak for all of us. I speak for myself. I have said over and over again that over and over again that wasn't the part that bothered me. Jake was trying, I think I even say there, Jake was trying to make a guest happy. I don't think I would have done it myself, but I don't blame Jake for doing it. But that's not the big issue. The big issue is what he did afterwards, right? How he's treating Krishan from then on. You know what I mean? He blocked Krishan. Ashley never asked Krishan to be blocked and kicked out of Jake's life. And now Jake's like, well, Krishan's yellow. Krishan's a beta. Like, Krishan hasn't said a word about Jake, except kind words. You know what I mean? So Krishan is more bothered by the fact that Jake is now kicked him out of his life after that stream. Like, it's not real, Jake. It's not real, And I think it was even Krishan's own theory that Jake now doesn't want to deal with what he did to Krishan. So he just acts like it didn't even happen, and that manufactures this whole beef with Krishan that he doesn't even have now.
Show that you criticize us for trashing Jake over.
God, I've talked to Ashley because I'm someone that doesn't. I know a lot of people don't like Ashley. I don't hate Ashley.
I don't either.
She seemed a little off that night. I'd never really seen her quite like that before, and yeah, she told me she was all
just drunk
buzzed
on
up and
pills.
drunk. So I don't know.
not a
because she
fan.
was drunk, she was getting a little more whatever. But anyway. Jake was, you could tell Jake was having almost anxiety over the whole thing. So
He was.
I don't think Krishan blamed him for kicking him out. I didn't blame him. It's just how he's dealt with it since then.
No, we all
Right, Rob.
blamed
What are you,
Ashley.
his parole officer?
We went through this yesterday, Ava.
Oh,
Give me
come
a
on,
break.
Ava.
All right, so right there, that may have been honestly a little of the frustration right off the bat because I was like, oh, this is what we're going to be doing this again. And I kind of knew it would be, but I already answered the Yenta thing with her, and now I'm gonna end up doing it on here. Now, granted, I know I love Ava. This is fun for her, the ball busting. I do this with Echo Pineapple all the time, right? This was different. It was a different dynamic for Ava and I. We've been on a bunch of. I think she's even said she's been on more live streams with me than anyone else, and we're usually the two double teaming on other people or taking the same side or whatever. So it was new for us to banter back and forth. So part of that, was made it interesting for me because it's something I hadn't done with her. We talk because usually a lot of times we're talking politics or we're on the same side or other shit like that. So it was the first time her and I were adversaries, so to speak, besides that live stream I did with her in Liquid and Krishan and all those guys the night before. So yeah, I think I let out it was a little sarcasm, and a tiny bit of frustration.
No, you're a fucking idiot. That's not the problem.
So,
No, I just
Boy,
would
you
also
tell
like
him.
to point out I talked to Nick about this, and basically Wendy doesn't like when people argue, so Nick is trying to keep it light. But no, Ava is being exceptional.
Yeah, I think Bobby can attest to that. That Wendy, I've seen Wendy leave streams because people, were whatever arguing or fighting or whatever. Matt, thank you for coming in. Yeah, and so yeah, and I was gonna say this later, but I'll just say it now so I don't forget. So I've been on with, I have somewhat of a relationship with Wendy. It's not anywhere near what Bobby and all those guys have, but Wendy sends me when she goes private, sometimes she does these late night streams, without Bobby. I get the link sometimes. Wendy kind of met me through Eckle. She loves Eckle Pineapple. I'm a good internet friend of Eckle. I co-host one of his shows. So there were times where I've gone on, and Wendy loves watching Eckle and I banter back and forth. We have this little thing where I pretend, he pretends, Eckle pretends he's being mean to me, but it's clearly, and he's like, right, Wendy, and then Wendy thinks it's funny. And then I'm like, Wendy, he's abusing me. Why is he doing that? But clearly, in a way, she can tell we're not fighting. You know what I mean? It's this comic thing. And yeah, she loves the fruits. So in fact, she asked me to get Eckle to come on Friday. She wants me and Eckle to come on Friday to do it again. I kind of play it to this, and this is just the best analogy I can come up with. I mean, no disrespect to Wendy at all. I love Wendy and her handicap, but it reminds me as a father when I had 3 sons that when they were all took turns being toddlers, whatever. You push them on the swing, and when they come back, you act like they kicked you in the nuts or kicked you in the stomach, and you're like, oh, and they laugh and laugh and laugh. They think it's the fucking funniest thing. Because even at their young age, they understand, you're not really hurt. They think it's funny that you're pretending to be hurt and they're doing it. I think Wendy thinks it's funny that Eccles pretending to abuse me and I'm pretending, So I realized watching this that I think I just automatically almost slipped into that same character I always am in front of Wendy. I don't act, I act like me, but I act a little differently in front of Wendy. And I acted like I always act when I'm on with Eckle. And I kind of did that with Ava. And you'll see I take a lot of shit. Anyway, that's what I noticed. The way I was talking, the little things I was doing reminds me of how I talk when I'm on with the pineapple. And that may have hurt some of what I did, but it's also, as I said, I don't really give a fuck. When later on, I think it's Chris is going to say Ava's got me by the balls. That stuff doesn't bother me like one bit. I just laugh it off, play it off, because it's just the internet. We're just fucking around.
I've known it for years. He's done this for years.
Seriously.
So
Yeah.
It gets tiresome sometimes.
Yeah, it does. But
I'll say this: I was someone who, obviously, when I first got involved with Jake, the first time I had him on, obviously some of his haters or trolls showed up in the chat, and they're telling me this, that, and this, and I'm like, I don't know anything about that. I
pretty much ignored them.
I'm not gonna go. If Jake's just coming on, I'm not gonna throw that at him. These accusations. So I didn't, and of course, people tell me stuff all the time, and I'm like, I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not. Jake's been good to me. I like Jake, so I'm just gonna let it go.
Pretty much the same.
And whenever he would do things that I didn't agree with, I always chalked it up at his autism was causing it, or his ADHD, whatever. Like he couldn't really help himself.
I generally tried to hold him.
And then I kind of noticed lately that he does make calculated decisions, so he can help himself with certain things.
And we got some examples of that coming up, actually, where he goes on Bobby Nick after this show, the Lunatic Lounge, and he's very apologetic for everything, even though Ava says, "Oh, it's a master class in taking Nick down." When all he is doing is saying, "Sorry, I love you. This is great. I'm going to give you money." And he apologizes for like everything to everybody because that's part of his shtick. That's part of his what Nick is actually talking about is he knows that if he goes in and apologizes and acts like, "Oh, I have these problems and that problems and this and that and the other thing," everybody will go, "Oh, it's okay. It's just Jake being Jake, and Jake is jaking," and he knows that that's what will happen. And that's one of Mumbling Nick's criticisms of Jake and how he thinks that he's actually manipulating people because Jake is smarter then he leads on.
So it was more like, and I think Liquid shows that in the second package, but just so I don't forget, it was very telling to me, and a lot of you probably know all this because you've been following. You guys have more of a personal relationship with Jake for longer than I have, but when Jake, I actually liked watching Jake apologize to all these people because I'm like, oh, maybe something good came out of it. Maybe Jake, is pissed at me. He doesn't know why because he hasn't watched it, but he's pissed at me. But maybe he'll make amends with these other people. But I noticed he gave what sounded like these very thoughtful, thought out apologies to all these people on screen. And I don't think one of them said, "That's okay, Jake, I forgive you," because they've heard it a million times, right? There would be long pauses followed by, "All right, Jake, thank you. I respect that." All right. Not I forgive you, not I accept. I respect that, Jake, because they know he said it all before. So this is a group of people who just, I think, have been shit on by Jake. No, besides Brandon, Ava, and me, these are people up here. These top 5 just took a beating from Jake for years, so his apology means nothing to them anymore. I'm still in that newer stage where Jake could probably sucker me in with an apology, but I started to learn. I started to watch what he did to other people, and like I said, other people warned me a million times, but I wanted to give Jake a chance. I didn't want to judge him by his past. He's always saying, like, people get mad, judge me by my past, so I made sure I wasn't going to do that. I judged him by his present, and unfortunately, I think Jake, some of the things in the present are just as bad as the past, if not worse. I mean, I don't know all the bad things he did, so maybe he has calmed down a lot. But a lot of that manipulation and all that shit and asking for money, I watched episodes from 2 or 3 years ago. Jake didn't do that shit like he does now. So that made me, I never brought that up when I made the video. I forgot, I should have. But when I started watching, I would go to Jake's channel and click most popular and watch some of his most popular videos. And a lot of them are from 2 years ago. And there's none of those videos of him just sitting there in silence asking for money over and over again. He didn't do that back then. He tried to put on a show, even when he was by himself. He would interact with the chat and all that. He doesn't do that anymore. So it's just like a money grift at this point. And so like letting Jake be Jake has definitely hurt him, I think. Like me trying, the video I made was more trying to, hey, Jake, you shouldn't, like, all right, if we keep letting Jake do this to his friends and then be like, oh, it's all right, Jake. It's like, are we enabling him? Jesus, Nightwatch. Like, are we hurting him in the long term?
We fucking went on a tirade about a year ago.
We've done the same thing. It didn't help.
But why aren't you yelling at him?
Yeah,
I notice Ava isn't saying they're attacking Jake.
I hate to interrupt you, OG and
ahead,
Bobby,
yep.
but OG, I snapped you the other night when you was interviewing Bobby and Jen, and I took it down because I did not know if you were going to strike me or not.
If anybody wants to,
Wendy, no,
I told her you would never do that.
I want to say, if anybody wants to stream snipe, dabbling in politics, dabbling in the verse, me or anything, feel free. Feel absolutely free to do so. I will not strike you. I'm not taking any down. You can put it up freely, restream it, rebroadcast it, do whatever you want.
You can snipe me anytime, Wendy. That's actually flattering. No, I don't strike anybody, Wendy.
Okay.
No, never. No.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's why,
Wendy, I make no money off this. I do it for fun. Absolutely.
I want to point out that Nick and I are not.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Not going to go after anybody for putting our shit.
So anyway, I know I'm not explaining this, Wally. People want to go watch the video at some point, but I just had different things, not things that the things that I don't think Jake can control. I wasn't criticizing. It was things I think he can, and just trying to say, Jake, if you work in this, maybe you'll get better. Now, to be fair, I was told by a bunch of people, people have tried this before. He's just going to go after you. It's not going to work. Don't bother. Yeah. So I was thinking about it for days, so I didn't do it. And then finally, I think it was the second time over the weekend, he went on one of Matt's late streams, and Matt's like, I'm sending the link to somebody. And Jake's like, it better not be Krishan. If it's Krishan, I'm leaving. And I was like, Krishan didn't do anything. So that's when I did it. He only kicked Krishan off because of Ashley, but now he's like manufactured this fake grudge against Krishan that I don't understand.
And now I don't even think he likes
you're an
Ashley
innocent,
anymore.
well-meaning person who just didn't know what he was like.
How
We
well-meaning of a person, and how much is he letting it go if he's hosted like Mean Girls 1 and 2, like Jake Hudson edition for Tuesday or
Well, that wasn't what it was.
Saturday and Sunday, 2 nights in a row.
Well,
Bitching
meaning
about-
in the
It
sense
wasn't
of
Saturday and Sunday 2 nights in a row. It was Sunday morning and Sunday, well, led into Monday morning. And the first one was Nick, and she's been told this, so she's purposefully lying and purposefully trying to get everybody else on her side against Nick.
and have fun.
Okay, number one, Saturday all by myself. I didn't host anything, right?
It was like
and it was
Sunday
like 3 in the
morning,
morning. So like
It
I
was
didn't
a
even know if
Saturday
anyone's
morning
gonna
at 3.
watch the fucking thing.
You're stewing about it at 3 in the morning?
Yeah, stewing at 3 in the morning. So then
That might not be a Jake problem. That might be a
that's I'm guessing it's partly an OG Mumbling Nick problem too. That's
It's
totally
mostly
fair.
an
How
Ava
about that?
problem.
Yeah. See, this is what I'm pointing out. I can be self-aware. The fact that I had been thinking about, should we do this on Jake? Like, look, this is where the brutal honesty come in, right? I do care, and I think Liquid does. I don't want to speak for them, but I'm pretty sure Liquid, me, Krishan, even Ava, just in a different way, right? Care about Jake. But obviously, if I'm going to do it live, it's also for content. I'm not going to act like this was all I'm this saint, right? I do care about Jake. So it's something I thought should be done, but I'll do it live and see what happens. And also, Jake lives his world online. He lives it in fucking chat rooms. He lives it on fucking YouTube. He lives it in Discord. So the best way to even talk to Jake or communicate to Jake is live. Like I heard Jake said the other day where he was like, I wish Nick, Ava might even bring it up. Like I should say this face to face to Jake in some, after a stream. Well, I don't know when I'm going to stream with Jake again. I mean, I was doing it semi-frequently whenever he was in a jam and shit and I was around. But usually when that happens, there's other people there. I don't know who's going to be there. So I thought I would make it, see if Jake would watch it. That was the hope. This is where my real frustration is Jake never watched any of it. So he doesn't even know what the fuck we said. So it's just bullshit, But yeah, I'm not a saint. I did it live. I did it on YouTube. So I had some content to talk about, but I did it at 3 in the morning. So obviously, like, that's something pushed me over the edge to finally fucking do it because I've been thinking about it, going back and forth, and I talked myself out of it so many times because I don't want to look like the middle-aged man who's attacking a fucking highly autistic guy in Mississippi, which I wasn't doing. But obviously in Ava's shtick, that's what she's saying we did, but that's not what we did. But yeah, for me to do that at 3 in the morning over something Jake said about somebody else, yeah, that might be an issue for me. I can fully accept that I may have something. Look, we're all in the Dabbleverse, so we're all off somewhere. We all have a screw loose or something's not right somewhere emotionally or whatever. So I can admit, yeah, that's a little weird that I was motivated to do a live stream on Tough Love on Jake Hudson at 3 a.m. on a Sunday morning. 100%. 100%. I got my own issues. Don't worry. But, and then last night, I was never, this is going to sound like a cop-out, but I swear on anything, it wasn't supposed to be what it turned into. I usually do my political show on Sunday night with Liquid Cryptid. I was at the beach on Cape Cod all day. He messages me and trying to figure out what we're going to do because our guest who we were supposed to interview backed out. And I was going to message other people, but I don't like doing that because I don't want anyone to feel like they're second choice on or anything, whatever. So he's like, Stutter and John just came back. Why don't we just, instead of doing dabbling in politics, we'll do one of your other shows or whatever, and we'll talk about John. And I was like, yeah, all right. And
that was literally the plan. I said, hey, let's talk about what you talked about Jake last night. We'll do I'm trying my best, and we'll talk about what you talked about Jake last night. And then, because I had some thoughts, and then we'd go into the John stream that was terrible. And my thoughts were, basically, too many people care about other people on the internet blocking them, and they get in these real crazy parasocial relationships like Ava is in with Jake and probably Wendy, because she's got some weird sexual fascination with slow people, and they're not your friends. But a lot of people think people online are their friends, but they're not, and you get in these weird parasocial relationships, and that's all I was talking about until Krishan came on.
And then he goes, yeah, just to elaborate on that real quick, like we weren't supposed to do a whole show on Jake. As he said, we were going to talk about John, and Liquid mentioned he wanted to talk about what I said about Jake, and but he didn't really. He mostly talked, like you said, about the relationships, online relationships. That had very little to do with Jake, and so we went live, did the little intro thing. I forgot. We briefly talked about like California politics and egg prices and Gavin Newsom. So we actually even talked about politics a little bit to start off the show. Then we talked about Jake, where it was mostly him talking about like online relationships, Liquid talking about online relationships. And then we started watching the Stuttering John live stream that he did on Sunday. And I'm obviously not blaming anybody. It turned into, I thought, a pretty damn good show. But because Krishan showed up, we wanted to, in the chat, we wanted to give him a chance. He wanted to come on and give his side of things. So of course I gave him his, he came on. So even when he came on originally, if you watch it, I'm like, Krishan, can you just hang? We're gonna watch a little bit of John because we were in the middle of watching John. He's like, oh yeah, I don't want to disrupt your show. And Liquid brought up the great point that while we got him here, we might as well switch over to Jake. And I was like, yeah, that's a good point. So we switched over to Jake and just never went back, because then Chris Peep showed up. And then Ava was stirring up the chat. So then Ava came up. So it turned into a whole thing on Jake after the beginning. But literally the Jake stuff was originally supposed to be like 15 minutes, 20 minutes tops. And because we had stopped. We talked about politics in California, Jake briefly, then to John. But then it switched back. So this was not a plan. This wasn't four Yentas planning on bashing an autistic guy. It just turned into four people that have four different relationships with Jake, talking about different things and how like maybe we can help him, or maybe we're hurting him when we do this, or does he know better when he does this, or does he not know better? We're trying to figure it out in real time. It's not like we have all the answers. Jake being Jake is, and I even said, like, I don't blame people for that. I was one of those people, so I get it, but I decided not to be, to try and fix things and see if it got interesting, but it kind of all blew up, even in a different way than I even thought it would. So, and I want to briefly talk about the video you made on Jake. So it was his idea. I was like, okay.
Once again, I said it yesterday on this channel on the stream yesterday. I even had clips. I still have the clips from the John stream that I haven't gone over or haven't done yet because of all this stuff. But I actually have a lot of other stuff I had planned, but this Jake stuff came up. So, hey, strike while the iron's hot.
So
All right.
he talked about it. We talked about it for just me and Liquid for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And then we started watching the Stuttering John stream. And then Krishan showed up in the chat and wanted to come in and comment. So, of course, I wanted to hear what he had to say. So we brought him on. So then we stopped talking about John so we could talk about Jake again with Krishan. Then Peep showed up. Then Ava showed up. So then the rest of the show just became this Jake thing that I never planned. And
well, everybody was having, I'll say everybody was having a fun time. We were all, just talking about Jake stuff. No different than what's going on in the 2 episodes of the Bobby Nick whatever shows that Ava was on, this one and then the one immediately after, literally talking. Well, we didn't talk like they do. I mean, we didn't talk about Jake's dick for minutes on end. We didn't talk about Jake's masturbation habits for minutes on end, which we will see. Well, we won't see that. I cut that out because we're not like that. We're talking about actual things to help Jake. We're not talking about how many times a day he masturbates like Ava likes to talk about.
For anyone interested, I believe it's 7 times a day. We won't have to watch it, but I believe that was the figure. So rock on, Jake. Holy shit. Chris Peeps, I like the guy, but he obviously, I think he's on a different level, and I think he would tell people that. he said some things I wasn't really comfortable that he said.
Yeah.
You sounded really comfortable.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, try to sound more cunty.
Yeah, maybe I should have spoke up
Maybe
and
if
said
you
don't
sound
say
more
it. But
cunty,
yeah, but
Alva,
I
people,
did know.
Dude, I have totally lost count.
So let me comment there. I'll be brutally honest. So Ava's bringing up the point that so I believe Ava's going to focus on literally like one or two things that were said and act like that was the whole show. And I get it. Like I said, it's a gag, it's a work or whatever. She brings up Jake's financials, so I'm not going to say what was said. I mean, it's out there, but in the video, and I believe it's when Chris Peeps said it, he said he thinks it's out there. He's pretty sure it's out there, so we'll just say it. But yeah, that was it. There was something to do with something interesting in Jake's financials, that Chris says is true. And, I believe Chris knew Jake's father and knew Jake. Like, he seems to know Jake the longest history out of any of us with Jake. He's like 7 years, I think he said. Seemed to know a lot about Jake's history. And I even felt really bad at one point during the show where he mentioned how Jake used to do fairly well for what he's going through up until his father died in, I think, 2019. So like 6 years ago. He said his father made Jake do his chores and all this stuff. And now nobody makes Jake do anything. They don't want to deal with him. So, I mean, it's sad. It's almost like we're more Jake's, I'm not going to say family, but his friends is on, online. So you try and help him out, even though, like I said, this isn't real. It's the internet, but Jake is going through real stuff. So tons of people have sent Jake stuff. Tons of people have tried to help, so, and without, I don't know, without, I forget what I was going to say, but yeah, tons of people have tried to help Jake and it hasn't really worked out. So, but to hear that Jake wasn't always like this or as bad as this until his father died, that made me feel really fucking bad, and, but yeah, Chris said he was going to say something that he thought was out there, and I didn't know what he was going to say, but no, I did not stop him. But I also didn't think he was going to say anything too groundbreaking because he has told me multiple times, and he even says in this show that he has all this stuff on Jake. He's known the first time Jake ever went on a YouTube show was with Chris Peeps. It was a wrestling show that Chris used to do. So he has stuff from Jake going back 7 years ago, all the way up till now. So him and Jake have had a big falling out. Like, Jake always treated Peeps worse than anybody, I thought, which I could not figure out. And I know multiple people have the theory that the nicer someone is to Jake, the worse he treats them. So maybe because Chris has been trying to help Jake for 7 years, he gets more abuse than anybody, if that's true. So, yeah, Chris has finally had enough of Jake, and he said he's going to slowly release things he has on Jake. And he was giving little hints, like he didn't want to say anything because he wants to save it for his show. So I didn't think he was going to be releasing any whoppers on my show. So I wasn't prepared for anything, too big. He put out like one or a couple things that were like, oh shit. But that's why I didn't stop when he was saying anything. Now, was I a little uncomfortable when he said it? Yes. Was I interested? Yes. I'm not going to lie. I was very interested in what he had to say. So, yeah, I sold out a little bit there. It was I didn't think he was going to say anything too crazy because, like, again, I said he was saving it for his own show. And I was interested in what he was going to say. And part it was already out there. So that's it, Ava. I didn't talk about Jake's financials. Only financial thing I talked about was I gave him advice on how I think he could get more donations and make more money. So I gave him advice on how I think he could help his financial situation. But I didn't judge it as the progressive economic populist on the political show we do. Far be it from me to attack anybody living in poverty. I do what you can do to get out of it. 100%.
Who said what?
All right. Yeah, it's very confusing. So I don't know. I just made that video hoping Jake, and I knew 99% chance it wasn't going to work. And to be fair, the one thing that gets overlooked, I actually sent Jake the link last night. I'm hoping he would come on to talk about it. I figured he wouldn't. Okay. But that, yeah, it wasn't like I was trying to do anything behind Jake's back. I'm doing it right there, and I even sent him the link. But I don't even think he looked. I'm not Mr. Big Shot, so he's not looking out for my link or whatever. So
I don't know. Hey,
start. Yeah.
Mumbling Nick, he was saying yesterday that he looked at your profile and you blocked him on Twitter.
I did because I knew he was about to block me, so I figured I'd just beat him to the punch.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Literally, just
See,
beat him to
that's
the
very
punch by
telling
like a
about
minute.
Nick.
So to give the truth on that, because that wasn't that was an abbreviated version, but because that's what happened right before. But a couple days before I went live with the Jake thing, I just tweeted, "I wish Jake Hudson well in his future endeavors," because that's what Jake always says when he's done with someone, when he blocks them, this and that, just to see if he would say anything, and he didn't, because he obviously didn't see it. So then I blocked him to see if he would notice. Now, because Jake flipped out last week because he found out that Stevie Lou blocked him. He flipped out like live on air. He's like, Stevie Lou blocked me. I never did nothing. Fuck him. I never did nothing to him, which was hilarious because I have heard Jake shit on Stevie Lou. I don't even know how many times. So I found it hysterical. And then Jake found out that he had blocked Stevie Lou, so Stevie Lou blocked him back. So when Jake unblocked him, he was blocked as like revenge for blocking him. So Jake claims he did nothing to Stevie, but he blocked him anyway. So I figured I blocked Jake after I saw the reaction just to see what he'd do. I was, I'm kind of poking the bear before I make the live, and he didn't notice. So then when we went live, I unblocked him so I could send him the link. So I unblocked him, sent him the link, kept it unblocked. Then I started watching Ava on the show, and I could tell Jake's getting steamed. So I'm like, I'm going to go block him real quick before he blocks me. And yeah, I re-blocked him barely probably before he was able to block me. But just know the only reason I blocked him is because he went to go block me over something. He still has no idea what I said, what Liquid said, what any of us said. No clue. He's going off the words of one person, which I think is and I'm sure this shocks nobody who's dealt with Jake, but yeah, one person told Jake that we talk shit about him. He knows nothing of what we said, and all four of us are now out of his lives. So that's how it works, I guess. I could just go lie. Well, I can't now because Jake's got me blocked, but if you ever want, Jake to get rid of somebody, just go lie about that person and he'll get rid of them for you because he's not going to investigate.
Had to do that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I guess it can be, but yeah.
Nick is sounding so professorial and like so calm and all that, but he blocked Jake. Like he's acting like a broad.
But it's okay if when Jake blocks people, he's an alpha male. But when you block Jake, you're acting like a broad.
Jake is just being Jake, and Nick is butthurt about something, and he blocks Jake.
Butthurt about anything. Maybe you're butthurt. I think Ava's the one that's butthurt about shit.
Shit about him for 3 hours, and then was mad at him for not coming on to defend himself.
Jake, no, we're not mad. We're not mad. We're not butthurt. I hate when people fucking do this stupid shit where they put emotions and intentions on other people like this. It's common on the left, so it makes sense that Ava would be into this because she's an idiot lefty that doesn't know anything and has no idea how to argue. So all she does is resort to personal attacks and putting different intent and actions and emotions onto people. Nobody's fucking butthurt. We're adult men. We have families, and we're talking about a subject that interests us.
So I got to chime in real quick as a considered someone on the left, I guess. I will disagree, but agree at the same time because I don't think it's a left thing. I think it's both sides because it's been done to me a million times. But I think, this might not be what Liquid's saying, but this is how I interpret it in things I have dealt with, especially in political arguments, is people will try and tell you what you're doing and saying when you're not doing or saying that, and it drives me nuts, right? It happened with the Colin Kaepernick thing where, whatever, I think it was meaningless. It didn't help that he was kneeling, but he was kneeling, in protest of police brutality, where everyone's like, oh my God, you're disrespecting the flag in our military. No, that's not what he's doing. You can't tell him that's what he's doing. I, as someone that used to defend the trans community and their rights, I get told, oh my God, you're pro pedophile, you're pro this. Like, no, I'm not. So it happens all the time in the political world, and it gets aggravating. But you're like, whatever. Well, it was happening here where Ava was telling us what we did and what we said, when that's not what we did and not what we said. So I get what you're saying, Liquid. I just think it's a both sides thing. It's something that happens when I think you're in an echo chamber, no matter what side you're on. You try and tell people what they mean and what they say. It is a very. We went through this last night, but if whatever, go watch it. If people think it's talking shit, whatever you want. The rest of us didn't. I didn't only focus on certain things.
Literally talk
like
less
how he
shit
was treating Krishan and other
We're
people.
literally being more gracious to Jake than this episode that I clipped from and the next one. These people are being vicious and fucking just disgusting and absolute, I don't know, monster. Ava's a fucking weirdo. That's all I gotta say. We're gonna see that in the next package that I put together. It's fucking
and
weird.
I gave him granted he didn't ask, but I gave him some advice how I thought he could make more money on the streams. If he asked for it, he should ask for it every stream, but ask for it less. Ask for it like every half hour, this and that.
And we all
when
agreed
he's by
with this.
himself,
We
he
all
never
said,
talks,
yeah,
he's
maybe
quiet.
not do it every
But when he
5
has a
minutes.
guest on, you can't get a word in. So I'm like, Jake, you're so smart. You have all this knowledge in your head. When you're by yourself, just talk like you would when you had a guest, and just go, and then be like, by the way, if you want to support the stream, blah blah blah. And I swear he would get.
What's wild is that is actually pretty good advice that Nick is giving. Give
Thank
people a show and they'll be prompted to give you money rather than just sit there and moan and put out your links to your different ways to donate. And then in the next episode after this, these are all people that are talking about how they love it when Jake just sits there and does nothing. And
Yeah, that's not true because I feel like I'm the only one who watches Jake live when he's sitting there doing nothing. So I'm sure I'll bring it up again, but the things they claim they like about Jake's show, none of them watch it live none of them watch it when he does it. So they can't like it that much, So that's a little bit of phoniness there, and that's a little bit of the uncomfortableness, if we're being brutally honest. Like, that's us. If you're being entertained, it's entertained because a highly autistic person is making weird noises and asking for money. Jake, as I said once before this episode, Jake thinks he's a celebrity. Jake loves celebrity. Jake wants celebrities on his show. Tony Reale came on once, and now he is in Jake's emblem, his profile pic. He's now part of all that. So I know Jake messages many famous people trying to get them on, including other ESPN people. Now that he's had Tony Reale, I'm not going to say Jake can't get any of them. Of course he can. But let me see what this guy's show's about. And it's just an autistic guy sitting in the dark, making weird noises, asking for money for 45 minutes and then stopping. They're probably not going to come on. But if Jake does what he used to do when he was by himself and interact with the chat, does what he does when he has a guest on or someone else on the panel where he's just shooting off this, that, and the other thing, people will come on. He will get those guests and he will get more money. So I was actually trying to give him real advice and not just laugh at the guy that moans in the dark,
These are people that think they have Jake's best interest in mind. Jake's here trying to make money, and they like it. They like it. They love it when Jake does stuff that basically turns everybody off and makes everybody go, oh, there's just silence here. There's nothing going on, and then leave.
More people donating. It's just when he sits there in silence, and then the only thing he says is every 2 minutes he's, asking for the money. I know that turns people off. So I was just trying to give some advice for that. That's all. I wasn't being a dick about it. I was just, he wants to make money. So I think that's the way he can make more money than he's making now.
Wendy, what do you think about Nick's approach with this Jake thing? Do you think that he should have just...
It's great. Ava always has to deflect and distract and get away from the actual subject at hand because she's not listening or not hearing what anybody's saying. So she goes to Wendy several times to ask her questions, and Wendy shoots her down.
Had Jake on in the first place instead of doing 2 shows about him?
I think he did 2 good shows, but Jake should have went on there when he sent him the link because they could have worked things out.
Thank
So
you,
the
Wendy.
question is,
But I
no.
even think, and that's a very fair question,
answer is,
Ava. But I think,
no.
and anyone here will know, I don't think Jake would have stayed on for more than 30 seconds.
No, he wouldn't have.
Like,
No,
the
he
slightest
Probably
bit of
not.
criticism, yeah.
Probably not. He doesn't. He is very timid of people, especially when he feels like he's ganged up on. You know, so that's the only problem there. But I've been dealing with Jake for I think a little over 2 years now, I think. And yeah, I mean, I've been blocked probably at least 20, 30 times. And I've gone through all the emotions you're going through.
We're not really going through
Mumbling
any
Nick.
emotions.
But you know, now I'm at the point where it's just like, okay, Jake's gonna Jake. Jake is Jake. I can't.
I mean,
I've
I've been there since
tried
the beginning, so
to help him out. He does his own thing anyway. So I don't know.
OJ. I mean, not OJ. Sorry, OJ. Didn't mean to call you.
It's all right. Happens all the time, Wendy. Happens all the time.
I call him OJ constantly.
I tried to help Jake, but you know, I have a block everywhere. But you know, Jake, I still listen to Jake and support Jake, but I'm just waiting
From afar.
till he's in a better mood.
Yeah, I get that, Wendy. Yeah, I still listen to Jake. I listened to him twice today.
I actually don't.
I think Jake's show is very entertaining. I'll never take that away from Jake, and I like Jake. I also think it was kind of telling last night when Ava went on.
I like Jake. I'll give my opinion on Jake's show right now because a lot of these people are big Jake fans and they got to watch him all the time. I am not really a huge Jake fan. I think his show's kind of boring. But hey, you know, to each their own. You know, I'm not to say who finds whatever entertaining. I find stuff entertaining that probably you don't, and you find stuff entertaining that I don't. That's all I'm saying. But I just wanted to interject that real quick, just to get a foundation that I'm not really a big Jake fan. I mean, I like Jake. I think he's fun to talk to. He's fun to be on his show, and it's fun to talk to the people that he attracts. And he has his moments, but I got better things to do than to listen to Jake Hudson.
With you guys, Bob. So, just my opinion. Obviously, I don't think Jake has some high-level show, but I do find it entertaining. And to be fair, to be honest, sometimes he's entertaining in an unintentional way. You know, like with the noises, or when he's frustrated with his his tablet and shit like that. But yeah, he also says some wild shit, and he'll say shit to guests that a lot of people won't say. So I do find Jake entertaining. I absolutely do. Pete, kind of want to cover this. Have you seen his Amazon list? What does he want a coin change machine for? Is he gonna run a laundromat from the house? Jake's wish list on Amazon is amazing. I recommend anybody check it out. Liquid brought up the great point the other day on our show where it's such random shit. He'll have shit worth thousands of dollars, and then right next to it, like a can of like generic fucking Chef Boyardee or something like that for like 99 cents. It's fucking nuts. Like I brought up on the show, he has like 2 different adult tricycles on there, which is very expensive. And I've heard from multiple people that Jake doesn't leave the doorstep. He doesn't go outside. He doesn't even go to the mailbox. So I don't know what he's going to do with adult tricycles or whatever. Because I brought up the point, like, I think he could kill it. If Jake did a stream riding a fucking tricycle, holy shit, would the views and money fucking drop in. That'd be fucking awesome. But yeah, he has so much random fucking shit on there with the price range is fucking amazing. Like I know somebody, forget who it was. It might have been like Carlos Danger or somebody sent him chocolate wafers that he had on there for like $2.49, and he was all excited about it. So yeah, he's got like random snacks, and then he'll have like an inflatable hot tub, and then like or some electronic soundboard. And then like the tricycles. It's fucking nuts. Bobby, and Jake just started going the block like me and Liquid and all that, and he literally has no idea what either one of us. He has no idea what either one of us said.
I mean,
I got a couple haters that want to hate on me now.
Who's hating on you?
OG Mumbling Nick.
Who's Mumbling Nick?
I just love that.
At this moment, he has no idea. Like he's going on Chad Zumach saying, "OG Mumbling Nick
Yeah.
blocked me." He's trying to.
Oh, that
He
was a
has no
perfect
idea
time.
what I said. But
He's,
just
he
because
knows you're talking shit. He doesn't
No,
know.
No, he
knows
doesn't know.
nothing.
He doesn't know that we're talking shit because we're not. He knows that you said that we're talking shit.
he knows you told him something.
Well,
That's all he
exactly.
knows. So that
You're
just shows
at-
how
you-
quickly
you're
he'll
very-
do that.
You're behaving in a very needy way. You
No,
need him to
you're
watch
behaving
your
like a
whole show
cunt.
where you badmouth
I don't
him.
need him to watch
need- you
anything.
need
I
him-
want to make the one
You,
show.
you need him to make better decisions in his personal life. You need him to
We don't
monetize
need
the way
him
that
to
you
do
approve.
anything. We would
I think
like
you need to
you to
back
tell the
off here.
fucking
You
truth
sound
for
like a
once.
needy broad.
I guess I was just trying to help the guy out, man. That's all. Sorry. I mean,
We're not needy at all. We don't need anything from Jake whatsoever. What we would like to have as
I just realized I think that's the first time I ever accidentally misgendered Ava. I said man. Not wasn't talking to her specifically, I don't think, but just picked up on that. I'm usually very good at that shit. I'm very conscious of that stuff. So oops. Now I feel like a dick.
I said, I talked over it. I know would be Ava to tell the truth, which she is not. She is just going off of what she thinks happened, but she doesn't know what happened because what she said is happening here did not happen.
You should hear me and Jake go at it, man. I've gone scorched earth on him, and I still haven't been blocked. I don't get it.
I don't know
I'm like,
how.
the
Yeah.
only ones that doesn't get blocked.
He is the cruelest to the people who are nicest.
Oh,
All right, yeah. So it was Mr. Whiskers who said that Jake is the cruelest to those who are the nicest. Like that could be true. That could be why he does what he does to Krishan and Chris Peeps, because Chris Peeps is, like I said, been good to him for years. Krishan's been good to him for a while. Bobby's been blocked 40 times, whatever he said. So maybe.
But yeah, I think Nick, you should.
So
I think you're
wasn't
having
worried
an
about being
episode
blocked.
this week, like an emotional episode, and
Cancel
you
away,
owe
baby.
Jake
Fuck
an
off.
apology. Jake doesn't owe you anything. Jake is.
You see, this is where Nick is just kind of like, I'm sure he's stewing. Well, I don't want to talk for Nick, but I'm stewing by this point. And as I said, Nick is playing it cool because Wendy doesn't like altercations like this. Apparently, Ava didn't get that message, even though she is there because she wants to talk to Wendy. And as you can tell, she has no interest in talking to Wendy.
He's always right.
So yeah, just real quick, I was partly acting the way I was acting because partly I'm not taking it at this point. I'm not taking it that seriously. And yes, I don't want any altercations in front of Wendy. And I think, as I said earlier, I think I subconsciously just going on the stream, I slipped into the character I usually play whenever I'm on with Wendy, because I'm usually on with the pineapple, and she gets a kick out of me and the pineapple like play fighting and him being play abusive to me and all this stuff. So, as I said, Wendy definitely gets that sort of humor, but I didn't know if, she'd pick up on this here. And yeah, I'm not going to lie. Part of me, even though I think I know what Ava's doing. I think she's, because I've seen her get into it with people and it'll be like, I'm just messing around. I love you. Shit like that. So I think that's what she's doing here. And, to an extent, I'm fine with it. But I'm not going to lie, I'm a little frustrated that things didn't turn out how I had hoped. Now, I figured Jake would probably get mad and block me and shit, but I wanted him to see what I said. And that never happened. And now that's never going to happen because he's just going by what Ava told him. And that was good enough for him. So I am frustrated at that part. So I think my frustration does come out at times, because I'm figuring Jake's watching this because he always watches Bobby. So I'm figuring every false allegation, as a bit or a joke being thrown out, Jake is taking for real. And, it's I don't know. It's what I did and what we did was kind of an experiment, and we're never going to get the real results because Jake, didn't see any of it and is just going off of what Ava is saying, and she's intentionally saying misleading things, so we'll never get the accurate results, I guess.
And you're wrong on this one.
Yeah, could
See,
be.
this is where everybody
Could
left
be.
it off.
Don't back down.
I'm
Nick.
sure I agree with
No,
that.
no, I was.
I don't totally agree with that either.
Come on, Nick.
Yeah.
I would like to know what type
Everybody
of
left it
drugs
off
you're
for that
on to
stupid
make
fucking
you believe
statement.
that completely.
Come on, Nick.
I love Jake.
Are you gonna take that shit, Nick?
Yeah.
See, Ava's my buddy. Now I'm torn. Even
Maybe
though
not for
Benedict
him.
Ava over here, I'm
No.
trying.
Nick
But,
can do whatever he
um,
wants.
All right,
was
you
trying-
just sit there and
Still friends with
behave
Ava.
then, right?
I was trying to do something a little different, and usually, and I'm sure I'm not the first to do this, but since I've been involved with Jake, usually people kind of do this sort of thing after Jake has blocked them and this and that. I was like, you know what? I'll try and do it before. Jake has never blocked me for. I'm sure he tried to now, but All right, Krishan, I see your question. My only question is Ava trolling or serious? So I mean, I'll let her speak for herself. I assumed it was part of both. I've seen her do her little bit, so I definitely think there's ball busting in here. A lot of ball busting and trolling. And we're just from knowing Ava, I think that's what she's doing. And if you watch, I didn't play it, but when she first went on to tell Jake all this, she was way nicer about it. She still said we trashed him, but she was actually she was way nicer about me, like specifically saying like I think Nick was just doing some tough love thing, but I don't know. I think Rashawn, she was doing the beta thing or whatever. But yeah, so it was I took it as like a troll because she was very, like I said, when she first told Jake, she wasn't nearly as trolly. I mean, she was trolling, but it was like, yeah, Jake, they were talking shit about you. I don't know why they did that. And she's like, those guys, I think they all love you, but then she's not doing any of that. So I took this as a bit, as a troll. Yeah. As a, entertainment, because she's into the Stern stuff. So I believe it's just Ava ball busting. As I said, I've never been on the other side of that with her because I'm usually, alongside her, but that's how I took it. I think it definitely seems like a bit. Yeah. Again, as I think I even said to Liquid in our conversations, or on video, I can't remember where. There's certain points where it's almost a little over the top. So like she'll be going like, you did 4-hour episodes on, then the episodes get longer, like the big fish story. So yeah, it's definitely a troll or a bit. I'm not gonna say definitely. 99%, I'm guessing it's a bit or a troll. Like I said, I was just getting frustrated because I couldn't, my what I wanted to do blew up, and maybe that's my fault. I should have said something to her. But she actually asked, "You okay if I go on Jake's show?" Because Jake was live at the time, not here, but that night, and tell him. And I was like, "Yeah," but I mean, I didn't know what she was gonna say, but yeah, no, I took it as a bit or a troll, and like I said earlier, I don't mind playing the idiot. People say I'm my balls. She's got me by the balls. I could care less about that stuff. I was just more frustrated at the whole what the original plan was got kind of blown up because of her bit or her trolling, whatever. But it is what it is. I can't make, I should have emailed Jake so he could have see if he would have watched it or whatever, but he didn't. So it is what it is. We'll never know if Jake can take constructive criticism or not because it's gone.
He just threw you out of the group chat.
Yeah, well, he blocked
Yeah.
me.
You're gone.
I got blocked on YouTube
Mr.
today
Diffs.
because
I would think that Nick knows if he was blocked. I was blocked. I was blocked everywhere and thrown out of the group chat.
him and I were in the same chat on a video. So I commented, and all of a sudden I couldn't see anything he was writing anymore. So he must have blocked me on YouTube. Matt, yeah, I fucking agree. I actually love Jake's new his new avatar there. Lizard in the fucking with the glasses, the headphones, wearing fucking overalls. It's fucking perfect. Oops.
Well,
I
just
feel like,
speaking
I
out of
feel like
school
even
again.
with Krishan,
He has
Krishan
no idea
knows
what she's
this
talking about
Jake.
here.
Krishan's just butthurt because Jake blocked him because he was
Krishan
trying to
isn't
get
butthurt.
No,
From
so
Ashley.
this one's a little different, I think, because I said it's not the like.
That's
so
what I'm saying.
Jake keeps saying
She keeps throwing intentions and emotions onto people that aren't true because she's trying to make some sort of emotional argument that makes no sense, and it's honestly just pissing people off, to tell you the truth.
The opinions of my guests are not my opinions of my own. So it's like, and he literally goes, Krishan doesn't have an issue with me; he has it with Ashley. It's like,
Right.
okay, so why are you blocking him and refusing to unblock him or going and just like nothing happened? Now all of a sudden Krishan's yellow in a beta and like I have no idea what nothing happened. They were really good friends doing streams together, literally up until Ashley talked Jake into kicking him off, and now like I don't know. Krishan had the theory that he thinks Jake, and it could be true. I never thought of this, and just doesn't like to deal with this stuff. So it's like, all right, I'll just
No, he
put
doesn't.
Krishan off to the side. Now I don't have to deal with bringing him back, and then whatever he's going to say to me when I unblock him. So it's kind of like, all right. So I'll bring this up for discussion. Liquid Cryptid says Ava thinks she is busting balls, but she's being an asshole like John. So, yeah, I get both. What you say. Like I said, I think I even I'm pretty positive. I said I believe this is a in our private talk. I said I think she's doing like a Benji Bronk type bit where she's pretending like with the whole Jake can do whatever he wants, like you don't question it, like totally. That's one of the huge reasons I took it as like a bit, like kind of reminds me of what Clearwater Chad says, like you will not question Joey C or you will not question Clearwater Chad, that sort of thing. She's just saying it like in her own way. But I get what Liquid's saying, so I'm gonna bring this guy up, and I apologize, Juggalette Jen, because I know he's a friend of yours, but you might even be here, Mr. Soup GGG. He is someone who I have seen, and I haven't seen a lot, so don't take my word for it, just what I've seen briefly. I see him going after people hard. I see him do it with Ava. I think I even seen him do it with Jen. Yeah, Soup Man. And he'll say like really nasty things and then be like, I'm just busting balls. I hope you know that. So, and I think in a way he is, but sometimes there's a limit to the ball busting. So, I get what Liquid's saying. Liquid and Ava, as somebody, I think it must have been you, Krishan, pointed out that this shit's been going. They were very oil and water type relationship. They've gone at it. I'll repost it sometime. One of the episodes of Dabbling in Politics. I just lost total control in the second half. And the second half of the episode is just them two yelling at each other. So they do have a history, and yeah, I took this as a bit, as a work, as I said a million times. But as I said, I also got frustrated a couple times because I don't want to be known as the guy attacking a guy with a severe autism, and as long as everyone gets that she's just doing a bit, it's a little easier. You know what I mean? I'm guessing most people got that, but you never know. And as I said, I was frustrated that what the plan was never came to fruition because she started doing her bit, which is fine. That's her right. You know what I mean? I think I was just more frustrated that it fucked up my shit. So let me see here. I get it if it's a bit, but she also comes manipulating Jake while claiming we're trashing him, but Ava is a walking contradiction, so I'm not surprised. Yeah, so you said that better than me. I was trying to figure out a way to say it where it's a bit, but there's also there is some, I don't think, nefarious manipulation. Like I don't think she's intentionally doing that shit, but I don't know. The best way I can put it, like I've said a million times, I totally took it as a ball busting bit, but there were portions where I was getting frustrated or irritated with it. That's the best way I can describe it. I mean, even a bit, even if someone's ball busting, you can get irritated or frustrated, time to time. I took most of it in stride, obviously. I was fine with most of it, like laughing it off, even saying, yeah, Ava's got me by the balls, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Didn't care. There was just other parts of it where I was actually trying to make real points, and they're just, they're getting washed away because of the bit or the ball busting is just taking total control of it. I'll toss aside, and that's that. He's just.
I think
she probably didn't say anything.
But I think the biggest thing with Jake is that he has been extremely attacked on YouTube before. You
Oh,
know,
I'm sure.
so
yeah.
he's
Especially my most of the
he
people
just
in this panel.
he does that with everybody. You know, he's on his guard until he's not, but then he could be your friend. But you know, it's all a cycle, right? Jake will block you, then he'll unblock you, and then he'll block you again, and then he'll unblock you. It happens over and over again, you know. So
Yeah, I think the point I was trying to make is like I knew all that, and I was just like everyone else, just watching it happen. But I didn't know if we were harming Jake by just saying that's all right. But like, obviously he's got issues, but even when you have anger issues or this or that, you still go to like counseling to work on them and this and that. And so you still be like, okay, Jake, I understand why you're doing this, but we need to work on
the things we were talking
I
about.
don't think Jake's gonna ever be able to control how easily he gets angry.
You sound like it. You sound like he's you're his ex-girlfriend right now.
You sound like a actually, Ava sounds like a fucking battered wife, to tell you the truth. Oh, he's actually pretty nice.
He's got a good guy, but like, you know, I just.
What happens when Jake does this to the wrong person? Well, he's gonna do this to the wrong person someday, and what's gonna happen?
Yeah, look what happened with Joey C and JBX when JBX showed up at his fucking door. Yeah, that prime example right there. I do agree with Nick. Oh, he just showed up at the guy's doorstep.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think Jake holds on to people that long. I mean, he had this, like, when I first started going on a show, he had this one weirdo who, after the show in the backstage, he's all like trying to pretend he's some sort of super hacker or whatever. And I'm just like, dude, I know more about this shit than you. It's like, he's like, well, I got your IP. I'm like, no, you don't. Go fuck off. And interestingly enough, haven't seen him since.
Threatening.
So for those that don't know, Chris Peeps gave some interesting information. It's probably something a lot of you know. I just never even thought about. But yeah, I noticed like Jake, you go watch an old show of Jake's and you're like, who the hell's that person? Because you don't see them around anymore. Probably Burnt Bridge, or probably this guy came on once or twice or whatever. And I was trying to figure out how Jake has like 2,860 fucking subs, but like 3 people will watch him live, like seriously. And meanwhile, I got little over 200, you know, and I get 20, 30, you know, at least like 15, get 40, 50, whatever, way more than Jake. Makes zero sense. And especially with Jake's, you know, like local celebrity or this verse type celebrity. And yeah, Chris let us know that Jake does a little quid pro quo with the subs. He'll just go to someone's random live stream and be like, hey, I just subbed to you, will you sub to me? And they'll sub back and never interact with them again, just to get the subs up. So most of Jake's subs are just dead subs of people that have their own shows and don't watch Jake and know anything about him. So that's why all that shit happens, I guess. But yeah, it also leads to an interesting guess, because Jake has met some people that, like, I know that coin guy he has on this heavy old white dude that sells and buys coins. It's just random fucking people. He used to have this preacher that would come on, just some weird people since we've been involved. So I guess that's how that happens with his quid pro quo. I'll follow you, you follow me. Misfit Nation, Mr. Krishan says, yeah, the bit is she's instigating certain points that we have to defend. That's why she keeps trying to make use the beta insult with me, because she's convinced I do a red pill podcast. Yeah, and some of the other trollers, she keeps trying to lump us all together. Like, keeps saying that we're butthurt over Jake blocking us when Jake didn't block Liquid and I, and you know, I blocked, and I mean Liquid's blocked now, and I'm probably blocked now, but we weren't blocked before we made this, and you certainly weren't butthurt over it. It was over getting booted and then blocked for no reason, because a guest asked that. So yeah, it's I that was part of the frustration too. I had to keep defending the same points over and over again. A lot of these points, if you're watching, I mean, you're watching Krishan, you remember when we were on with her, the 4 of us were on with her the other night. She's basically doing that shit again. It's just it's turned up, turn the knob up. She's saying a lot of the same shit she said to us on the show. She's just accusing me and us of more outlandish things. So I'm just constantly defending like at the very, people probably forget, but the very beginning, the first time Ava chimes in during this, I go, we already went over this last, because she was starting with the same shit that you already said. So I got that it was a bit, but it was I just said it was getting frustrating at sometimes to keep defending the same points over and over again, the same false allegations over and over again.
He said Joey C had been doxing him.
Wait, who showed up at someone's door?
JBX showed up at Joey C's door.
Somebody even brandished the gun in that video.
Yeah, I saw that video.
It was a big,
all crazy.
Yeah.
Like everything else she has an opinion on, she doesn't know anything about it.
Sorry, so okay.
Yeah.
But that motherfucker could never
Hey,
show any
Bobby.
proof that anybody doxed him. So we think he was.
No.
Bobby.
He was just getting material or not material.
I'm sorry. I gotta agree with Nick on this one. If it's a problem, he does need some kind of counseling or something.
We've been trying to
Bobby.
There's nothing wrong with
Hello?
it.
You guys hear me?
Murdered.
Hello?
Yeah,
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. My shit went out for a minute. I don't know what the hell.
Bobby.
Oh, you're tripping.
Do you know if Jake ever went to go have his thing looked at?
She means his
Shots
tooth.
fired. Shots fired.
She means his tooth.
I just let that in.
Not his.
Shots fired. Officer down.
Yeah. No, I don't know any. I don't know. I haven't talked to him today.
He
'Cause
hasn't.
I didn't wake up until a little bit later.
Well,
He hasn't. He was on chat actually. I think just after this, or before this, or during this. I think during this. He was on Zumach. He was on with Chad Zumach, and he has not. As I said, he's in a what could possibly be done. It is what he needs.
Shammy said he needs.
Sorry, I was just skipping for time. He was just talking about Jake's fucked up teeth that we all know. Not that it's unimportant, Liquid. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get back to the package.
Needs to have it looked at because he.
Well, I know. We told him last night. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he'll do it when he can.
Ball is in his court now.
But he's busy under attack from people like Nick. So maybe.
Well, see, any
excuse. She'll just
I care about
excuse.
Jake more than you. Sorry, here's the
Exactly.
difference, right?
Oh,
I see Jake as a person. Ava sees him as
A
like a
dancing
celebrity
monkey.
podcaster.
He's just her
whatever.
dancing monkey,
No.
just like
No,
he is for everybody else here.
I love Jake, and it's
No, you don't.
what they were saying earlier.
She's
Like
just
this
a
is just
dancing
what
monkey
he
for her.
does. It's just for some reason now you have a problem with it because some of y'all are butthurt because he blocked you because he was trying to. Have
He didn't
sex with
block
somebody.
me though. He didn't do anything to me.
Krishan, I'm talking about
Yeah,
Krishan. I'm
sorry.
saying
So there was some of that, not like anger, but that was some of the frustration where once again being accused of being butthurt, Jake, because we blocked when he didn't block, and just to briefly touch on when I said that I care about Jake more than Ava or in a different way. This is what makes this complicated. As I said, this is not real. This is a hobby, but real people are involved that you don't really know. But Jake, we seem to know more than most because his life's just out there. His whole life's online. He tells us most of his problems, and he obviously has a ton of issues. So even though this is joking and ball busting, obviously, you worry about the guy a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm not going to act like I lose sleep over things going with Jake. I lose sleep with fucked up shit, stressful shit happening in my own life, with me or with my own loved ones and shit like that. But yeah, when I'm fucking around online in the verse, I worry about Jake a little bit, and a lot seems like these people do too, and I know Ava's doing the bit, but she's like, he'll go to the dentist when he wants, he's under attack. And like I said, obviously that's part of the ball busting, the troll, but it's also a real life thing, he needs to deal with. So yeah, it kind of makes things more complicated, but I'm not going to say that Ava, like I've had not a lot, but I've had some talks with Ava about Jake. She does care about Jake. but she does see almost. I think she sees him as almost like a celebrity type thing, or she does because he's so unique. Jake is a very unique person, and I think that fascinates Ava, and I think that's what she loves. So I think that has a lot to do with it. This is obviously like you can't question Jake, that whole thing. So that's part how she feels with Jake.
And then
Yeah,
I don't even know what's
Oh
going
no!
on.
Suddenly, oh no! I'm
There's a
talking
very
about Krishan.
codependent
No, you were
thing going
talking
on
about
with
Nick because you don't know
But
what you're
Krishan
talking about. Your fucking
was
ass.
acting like a little bitch. Like Jake was just like
Krishan isn't acting like a
fire-seeking
little bitch. You
Krishan
didn't even
and
listen to
humbling
it.
him and letting him know he's the beta and that Jake is the alpha. And
All this
and
bullshit.
then Chris and him have their own
Cringe
other
as
stuff. But
fuck.
you're acting like a broad.
Ava, I love you, but sometimes I hate that you're a psychology major. 'Cause
She's not a
you're always
psychology major.
analyzing.
I guarantee she's not a psychology major. 100%. I'm almost certain if she is in college, it's some worthless degree and she came up with psychology major. She is not a psychology major because she doesn't listen to anybody. She doesn't empathize. She has no idea what's going on. If she is a psychology major, I hope it comes out soon that this was all just a bit or something that, is just making a paper or doing something or checking out, people's emotions and stuff like that, which is generally why I'm done. I'm not participating anymore.
That's being nice about it. I was about ready to say Ava's got you by the balls, dude.
No, because see, this is another guy that absolutely has no idea what Ava's talking about. They just going off of what Ava's saying.
She does make some good points.
I'm not a big fan of Jake, but she's got you, dude.
Y'all see what I'm saying? Like
cojones.
this is why.
Oh, she got some traction. You got some traction, Ava.
He keeps like
You
trying to
convinced
polish this
somebody of
turd
something.
where he's like, I'm just like looking out for him, and like I think he needs help. Like, do you think like you doing a 2-hour shit fest on him 2 nights in a row is gonna help
All right,
him?
see, you keep like saying things that aren't true. So one was 1 hour, one was 3. There was no 2.
See right there when I said you're saying things that aren't true, and she goes so obviously she's living it up. And yeah, like I said, I'm good natured about the masculinity ball busting. Don't care at all. But just going with the flow, and that as I said, I beat it to death. I understand it's a work and it's a bit, and I had fun with it at times. And I got irritated at times. So it was a mixture. You know what I mean? It's sometimes I thought it was funny. Sometimes I'm like, all right, we've already talked about this part over and over again. And in the back of my head, and this is my own issue, I guess, is I was worried that someone's gonna pop in for a few minutes and not know the backstory and think that me and my panel, co-host and panel are attacking a highly autistic guy and shitting all over him for like back-to-back episodes, which did not happen, and as she said so she knows it didn't happen. So I appreciate that of her with admitting it didn't happen, but I just wish you let me do what I wanted to do, but I guess it's too late.
Purposely lying. He's purposely lying to shit on us. You got that like if Krishan and Peeps and of course Nick is probably watching now. You got that she's purposely shitting on us and purposely making us look like assholes in front of these people.
Like, believe me or not,
down at an hour 50.
Believe it or not, that 1 hour, that whatever it was, that 45-minute, 50-minute thing I did, that was supposed to be it. And I know the one I did by myself, I know it was less than an hour.
Wendy, do you think that Nick is being needy with Jake, or am I like just out of line for saying that?
If I was needy, I would have sent him that video. Like, he didn't know for 3 days I even made it.
No, he doesn't sound needy, but he
Okay.
did
Shut
send
down again,
Jake the
Ava.
video.
I know, but I feel like Wendy, he was like, they did it. It was really late at night, and then
explain the dumb shit that
like 11 and Jake and
that you think.
I think that Jake probably would want like some time to prepare if he was going to have to defend every aspect of his life.
Jake's
before
going to
he
prepare.
enters.
She knows nothing about Jake. Do you think Jake's going to prepare? Jake is just going to run away from it. It's a reason why he won't unblock Krishan. It's not because it's because he doesn't want to admit that he did something wrong.
You have the most issues
legitimately, and he's embarrassed by it.
Does Jake give anyone else?
See, I know.
any
See.
time?
This is what I know more about psychology, especially about psychology of autistic people and I'll just say the mentally handicapped, because I've actually worked with them. Fucking this, she's not a psychology major, not no
For a
way.
link, and 2, Jake went live right after we finished, and you went on, so you know he was up.
I'm sitting here just thinking of
You went up
throw
and said,
gas
"Hey,
on this fire.
All right, couple things in the chat I will address. Oops, sorry. I like how Ava redirects to Wendy, who doesn't like Jake. Yeah, that backfired on her multiple times because Wendy and Jake famously do not get along. And I said it helps that I have a slight relationship with Wendy, and Wendy likes me, so I knew those were gonna backfire on her, even though that she tried to. They were kind of loaded questions, or they were biased in their delivery. And we got Krishan. Just based on Ava's worldview, she has no moral grounds to say anybody should do anything. Live and let live typically leads to enabling bad behavior. Yeah, like I said, this one's it's very complicated because it's so much going on, right? It's Liquid and Ava have a relationship, and things that have happened there. I have a relationship with Ava too, and it's always been Dick, and I have a relationship with Liquid. We all have different relationships. I personally thanked Liquid. I loved how he defended me. I also, took a lot of what Ava said in stride as ball busting, but I also got frustrated and irritated at times because it just wouldn't stop. And I don't know. So it's a big whole thing. I agree with some of it, disagree with some of it. It's a big old mess, and I kind of lined it up to, as I said, the GGG thing where he's always ball busting, but some people hate it because it's really insults, and then he goes, I'm just busting balls. No, I mean, I've obviously insulted me, but I thought a lot of it was tongue in cheek. I don't know if Matt's still here. I'm not getting into too much personal, but I messaged Matt just to explain some of this right after it happened. It's like he's the Jake whisperer, so I messaged Matt, and I believe I literally used the term tongue in cheek in the right after the whole thing even happened, being like, Ava's when Ava told Jake that we were bashing him and he went to block us all. I said to Matt, I'm like, yeah, I think mostly what Ava was doing was tongue in cheek, but I don't think Jake's gonna pick up on that, and now he's not checking out what we're doing. So it's a very complicated fucking mess where you got ball busting, but some of it's like, all right, and fucking enough already. You got real online past relationships that have been butting heads for a while, and now it's like, fuck this. And I'm almost, I don't want to say this. I've been told I'm a nice guy, so I didn't throughout the whole thing didn't even ball bustingly go after Ava in retaliation the way she did me. I mostly tried to stay on point and defend the what we did, because I think what we did was perfectly fine, and the false allegations, she knew they weren't real, but I was just playing it. Like, I thought maybe her saying we trashed Jake, she might have seen it that way. That may have been the only one that was real, but even that, I'm not so sure. That might have been part of the ball busting. But yeah, where I suck at this sort of thing is I am not. I don't know. I can be. I'll say awful things to the pineapple and this and that because we have this ball busting relationship. I know Ava's a big ball buster, but I've never gone at it with her like that. We've always been on the same side, so I wasn't used to it. I didn't want to fight back, and even in the ball busting way too hard because I didn't want Wendy to misinterpret. And it's not in my nature in this sort of thing. If I thought Ava was being trying to be insulting on purpose and not in a ball busting way, yeah, I would have fought back a lot harder. But it's just the internet, so I was just saying whatever, fuck it, So I don't know. I think if you know me, you can kind of tell the certain points where I got frustrated by how my tone may have changed or whatever. But for the most part, I was okay with it. I'm not saying I was happy with it. I wasn't happy with how things turned out, but I was okay. I can deal with the ball busting. As I said a million times, I just wish, this could have played out how I hoped, to see how Jake would have reacted if he had discovered this shit on his own and really saw what we said. But that will never happen now.
I think. I think.
Go ahead.
What do you think, Ava?
I think that Jake can do whatever he wants to do, and you need to just get over it.
Accept it.
We think that Jake needs some serious help, and actually not only think that, we actually know Jake actually needs some help from private conversations, let's just say.
I'll put this up real quick, because that could be an interesting conversation at some point. We have, oops, sorry, I lost it. We have Mr. Cryptid saying what Ava was doing was being an asshole, and we have Cupcake agreeing. So yeah, there's I find that whole thing fascinating, and this is where I'll say I think maybe my relationship with Ava, I have a bias, and it gets in the way. No, I don't think. Never mind. Yeah, like you can be a ball buster and an ass. Right, ball busting can be an asshole thing. Like like when when Superman was some of the stuff he said to Ava, and even you, Jen. Like I said, I'm sorry because you're fine with it. I thought he was kind of being an asshole. Then he said he was just ball busting. So if people are fine with it, that's everyone's, can do their own opinion. If you're fine with that, that's fine. But they're right. There is a line somewhere between ball busting and being an asshole. And my bias may get in the way because I'm friends with Ava, so I may put up with more than that. You know what I mean? That could be very fair. If someone from the outside may think this was just an asshole thing she was doing, and that's a fair assessment. Like I said, as an outsider, I thought Soup Guy was being an asshole, but I think Jen thinks he's ball busting. And again, that's fair. We each have our own opinion. So if your opinion is that Ava was being an asshole, obviously I can accept that. That's a fair evaluation. I got frustrated at times or irritated, so obviously I took some of it as assholery. But because of my past and current friendship with Ava, I took it as ball busting, as meant to be ball busting. So yeah, it's interesting. I think how your current relationship with somebody, your past relationship, or your exposure to them. Like I had never been exposed to GGG or the Soup Guy or whatever, so I took it as him being an asshole when I first saw it. So yeah, if you first time you're seeing Ava, you might see it as an asshole thing, or if you've been dealing with her ball busting for a while, you may take it as an asshole thing. So it's yeah, it's very interesting. I like how everyone has different opinions on everything. My problem with Ava is that she's kind of racist about talking about all the beaners that work in South Carolina. Okay. Fair enough. Cupcake. I guess I should have pre-read that one before I put it up. Just that's a compliment for you, Cupcake. You're I like what you say a lot, but I think beaner's racist, isn't it? So isn't that you being racist? That's probably a joke that I was not privy to, or didn't notice before I put it up. I agree too, but parts that's what's ball busting is. Yeah, like I said, it's tough. It's a tough. There's a line, man. There's a line somewhere, and what side you think it falls on is interesting. Interesting, yeah. Ooh, ball busting or asshole. That could be a future episode. I can see it now, baby.
With you, Nick.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking for his relationship with Bobby, but like I'm talking to you, Nick.
Ava, I 100% agree. I've been through the whole cycle of what Mumbling Nick has been, and I've come to the point where I just accept that Jake's gonna be Jake, and
that's kind of
I may get blocked out in the future, and I'm not gonna.
That's exactly what we were talking about. Is it beneficial for Jake for us to be Jake is going to be Jake? No, that was basically the topic of the conversation. We weren't shitting on Jake.
Oh, my apologies, Cupcake. My apologies. I didn't know you were quoting Ava. Yeah, that is racist. Yeah, absolutely. So that's why I was surprised. No, don't worry about it. I should have picked up on that. My bad. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Ooh, the plot thickens. It's always thickening.
We were shitting on people like Bobby, Nick, and Ava, and the rest up here, who just encourage it, and just because Jake is going to be Jake, and they can't be asked to, or can't be arsed to, deal with it at all. Fine, don't deal with it, but enabling them isn't helpful.
Personally, and it's just it is what it is, right?
Ava, who didn't understand.
Nick, did you hear how elevated Bobby
understand
is? I think maybe you need to see a psychologist to work this shit out and then straighten this shit out with Jake, because Bobby's there without therapy. But if Jake doesn't need therapy, I think
I strongly disagree with that statement. No, fuck that. No, he's right. Fuck him.
Who?
Well, what do we do though? What do we do? What are we going to try to get him disciplined or something? I don't know.
That was the point of the conversation.
What is there?
That's the point of the conversation that Ava was upset with us about. What do we do? That was the question. Until Ava showed up and just started fucking everything up and being a little cunt that she is.
I don't get bothered by him because I ignore him.
We're taking your mic away for
adversarial to be adversarial.
I mean,
what are you gonna do?
That is
Jake's gonna be Jake. I'm gonna be me. Nick's gonna be Nick, and Ava's got him by the balls for it. And
that's true.
Deal with it. Deal with it.
Doesn't have any.
I don't feel like Nick's gonna be Nick. He's become a different guy this week. He's just obsessed with Jake.
This is great.
Maybe he's got
it's
problems.
eating him up inside. Yeah.
You found out about this last night.
Well, every new thing I find out, it's getting worse for you, Nick. You need to let it go.
Let those excuses roll.
This is like a fucking episode of The View.
A little bit. Next show. Nick should change the name of his channel into The View.
This episode reminds me of Family Feud.
Jake, you need to Jake. If you ever want to, you should talk to Nick. You need to straighten his ass out. He's out of control.
Jake is in the chat.
Let's straighten it out, Jake. Hey,
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Jake showed up in the chat, so it got a little interesting. So yeah, see how it goes. Jake wants to talk. I should have said face to face, but he doesn't want to talk to me. So it's not gonna happen now.
Straighten it out, Jake. Brendan Asylum checking in, saying, "Hey, Nick." Okay, good to see you, Brendan Asylum. Ava, what's up? Oh, Jake says
no. What did I do?
And that's sort of the
what
point.
What did you
right?
do? You fucking.
He can't even tell me what I did.
You did 12 hours in 1 week.
He doesn't know. Now it's 12 hours.
See, it's okay when Jake decides not to talk to Nick, but it's not okay when Nick decides not to talk to Jake. It's not even Nick not wanting to talk to Jake. It's Jake not wanting to talk to Nick, which is a problem for Nick for some reason. Logic.
12 hours. No, Jake. I'm done with you. You can't be done with me. I'm done with. I'm just kidding, Jake.
You never know with Nick. He says he's kidding, but then he's gonna get three beta guys together tonight and start whining about how Jake isn't paying attention to him anymore.
That was not the plan.
That's cringy ass shit. Stop with the beta.
Did you hear about these guys complaining about us?
About Liquid and I. That was it. Touched on it. Then it turned into a whole thing with Ava.
Because
rising everybody up.
It didn't.
Riling everybody.
It didn't turn into a whole thing until Ava got on.
Everybody up in the fucking panel. Jake, what did I say? Tell me what I said, buddy.
What didn't you say?
Exactly.
I said he's just going by your word.
That's exactly the problem, Ava. You don't know what was said.
Sean, you see this shit? I'm fake like WWE, bro. Holy fuck. Jake's told me he doesn't like WWE, but everything I saw him buy off Amazon was WWE. By the way, that was actually an accident, which is fucking crazy. I'll just say it because Liquid, I think, cut it. He didn't put it in the package, probably out of respect to me. I never asked him, but which I appreciate, Liquid. But I'll bring it up anyway, just so people know where Jake went to in this. One of these comments, Jake brought up my wife. So saying I think he said my wife doesn't love me or something like that. So yeah, in a minute you're gonna see me reference Jake bring up family or my wife, and that's what that was about.
You're just sitting here attacking us, honestly, and making us look like assholes. And you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Nick is fake like WWE.
He is. One second he cares about Jake, the other second he's maligning him for a week straight.
Well, I don't know. I think maybe he did the shows because he does. Hold on.
For,
I think maybe he did the shows because he does
for
care
5
about
minutes,
Jake.
I was talking
If
about
he cared
Jake's
about
dick.
him, he would have those conversations privately.
Maybe you shouldn't be
And I
having
said
public
that was when
conversations
we
about
talked
Jake's
yesterday. I said
dick,
that was the fair
Ava,
criticism.
and his masturbation.
Doing it publicly,
his masturbation.
may not have been the best thing, but Jake's always online. I don't know
practices.
how I would have done that with Jake privately. I think I would have. I have no idea. Only time I
Jake-
talk to Jake is online.
Jake, did Nick try to reach out to you before he did a hit piece on you for 2 nights? in a
Jake,
row?
did I send you the link last night?
No,
Go look.
before. Did you try?
Before what?
I'm asking Jake if you reached out to him before you went public and attacked him with 3 entas.
We didn't attack him.
Oh,
Jake,
there was
Jake,
no
don't let me send
before that.
screenshots. I will send screenshots, Jake, of the link I sent you.
The before that was
can you still
literally
access
watching
them?
the
'Cause it sounds
Stuttering
like you
John
blocked it
video.
like a broad.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
So when Jake was gonna block me, he was being a broad.
No, you blocked him.
I'm just
first.
saying, is blocking Nick for a broad?
So Jake is saying you haven't
Has not
discussed
discussed
No,
anything.
that's 100% fair. I did not discuss things with
No,
him
why
privately.
would
I'm
we?
saying I sent the link to talk. I don't know how to talk to Jake privately. I don't have Jake's phone number.
Do you send him a DM? That's what I'm saying. It's like instead of talking to him privately, you started airing out all this like personal shit publicly without even him there. And then
You
after
mean like his
your
dick
10th show
size
about
and
it,
his
you finally
dirty
sent him the
underwear?
link. That's
So the last couple times I sent Jake DMs or whatever, he didn't respond or notice or whatever. Which is he used to all the time, but obviously not now. He seems to be dabbling for celebrity even more and more. So I knew that wasn't going to happen. But also, yeah, just to be honest, because I'm not no saint. Like I said, doing it publicly might create content, and I don't think Jake would have this private. I don't know how I would talk to Jake through a DM about the shit we talked about. You can't do that through a DM. And if I tried doing it with him, whatever, on a stream, he would just leave. So I don't know. I sent him the link. So if he wanted to talk about it, we could. But, he did not. And now he doesn't even know what we said. So I think it's fair to bring up the point talking about it in private, but I think it's next to impossible to talk to Jake about something like this in private. Especially for someone like me. I don't have a phone number for Jake, so I can't call him through DMs. You could not discuss the things that we talked about. So it's, just is what it is.
my point.
Which
Jake,
Ava
I didn't have a problem
does
with you,
just
buddy. I literally
about an
said,
hour after
if
this.
you watch it, Jake, watch if you can, if you have time, watch the 50-minute video I made.
Yeah, watch a video of somebody shitting on you for an hour.
That's what Ava
not-
thinks. Ava hasn't
not
even
that.
seen that video.
Yeah, see, Ava
Once
hasn't
again,
seen
people
it. He
talking
has
about
no
things they
idea.
don't
She
even
has
know
no
about.
idea what she's talking about.
Why are
Once
you
again,
two fighting?
I think I don't know what I
I
don't know
just
what her
thought the
angle
same thing,
is
so
or what
I'll
she's up to or what she's thinking.
So if anyone heard Mr. Whiskers, he's like, why are you two funny? So that was the other reason I didn't fight back, too much, obviously. Partly Wendy, partly because I knew Ava was tongue-in-cheek in this whole thing. And partly I didn't want to look like a bitch fest over Jake, over whatever, beta shit, whatever, the whole thing, the Yenta thing. When someone calls you a Yenta, if you fight back, you sound like a Yenta. That's how they can put you in a little fucking box like that. So, like I said, I just tried playing the happy-go-lucky character. I always do on Wendy's show. And then a lot of that is really me, so it's how I act. I'm not going to get super mad about this shit or whatever. But yeah, that was part of the frustrating part too, where I couldn't really, even fight back, even ball busting wise, because unless I went for personal attacks on Ava, which I would never do, so kind of left me stuck, I guess.
She's doing, but all she's really doing is pissing people off.
Fuck yeah.
Spawn's here.
We got Spawn checking in saying,
Well, except for this group of whoever's.
Nick, yeah, Spawn has a beef with Jake right now. He said, Nick, Jake randomly wakes up hating people without even a fragment of an actual reason. A handful of people entertain that nonsense. However, most folks don't.
And these are the handful of people that entertain that nonsense.
I
is what the discussion
honestly,
is about.
Spawn, I've just come to the point where it's like Jake's gonna Jake. I don't know. I've tried every route to
Literally the problem.
You know, maybe let him know that maybe he should change his behavior a little bit, but it doesn't work anyway. It always falls on deaf ears. So Jake's my friend, so you know what do you do? What do you do?
Most folks don't. Most folks also don't hold a seminar on Jake's finances and his microaggressions.
They literally spoke more about Jake's dick than we spoke about Jake's finances.
Like Nick did.
I didn't hold anything on his finances. You just what's his face said what he
It
said.
wasn't even about his finances. It was basic.
So I remember this, and I can tell by my tone. I think this was the point where I was actually frustrated, most annoyed was where you're here. Like I said, I took most all of it in stride. I had little spurts here and there. I was like, I'm sick of explaining this over and over again, or defending this over and over again. But yeah, this was like the one moment I was waiting for it. I remembered because I did not talk about Jake's finances. I don't up to the fact where how he could make more money. That's all I did. One of the guests on the panel with inside information brought up something that he claims Jake did, and I take his word for it because he seems to know that sort of thing. But that was it. I remember it was actually kind of quiet when he said it. I think Rashawn was like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "I'm dead serious," or something like that. And that was about it. And then we moved on. We didn't dwell on that topic. It was just some information somebody gave out on the show. Somebody who was the fourth person we brought on. It wasn't even a scheduled guest, so it was not planned. So I was getting a little irritated because Jake's finances, nobody's finances is my fucking business. And my finances is nobody else's business. I was just trying to give, an opinion on an advice on how Jake could probably get more donations because what he's doing isn't working. He's had a goal up, $1,000 goal for buy me a coffee or whatever for like a month. It's been sitting at like $50 he's made for like a month. It's not moving, so it's not working. So I gave some advice. That's the only financial shit I did on how he could get more donations. And yeah, that guest on the panel brought up something he knew that Jake did financially that is not good, and I'll leave it at that. And that's all. But now she tries to lump the whole thing, like the whole show was on Jake's finances, when it was one person saying one thing they knew over a 5-minute span on a stream that was like 3.5 hours. So yeah, it was nothing like that. So again, I know it's ball busting, but that's the part that bothered me because to me that's a shitty allegation, and because it's something I wouldn't do. So anyway,
somebody made Peeps said some stuff, made some comments. I'm not going to repeat it, unlike Ava, who continually repeated it through the entire thing because it was so incredibly bad. She had to repeat it and come back to it every 10 minutes. I'm not going to repeat it. But basically what it comes down to is that Jake can actually make quite a bit more money than he thinks through his side, than to a limit than his rather than the $50 without actual symposium.
Talking about that's it.
Okay.
None of that was in my video I made. I know nothing about it. It's not my business.
Nick, let it go. Everybody's moved on the show.
You keep bringing it back up.
Right? She's literally the only one who has not moved on the show. She is 100%. It's like, is she doing a bit? Is she joking? Like, what's going on with her? I don't know.
I guess
I don't know. I'm done with her anyway, so it doesn't matter. I don't care what she's doing.
Wendy, would you, if Jake was live streaming and he started jacking off, would you watch it?
See, exactly. Exactly. And this is the kind of shit that I yelled at her about on our little attack Jake thing. It's like she's always got to come around to fucking Jake's dick. or somebody's dick or somebody masturbating or what are they masturbating to? She's like obsessed with Jake masturbating. It's like, why don't you just go over there? Why don't you just show up at his house and go fucking jack him off, Ava? Might as well. You seem to want to. You ask everybody the same question. What do you think about Jake's dick?
No.
It's constant.
He was very
Jake,
surly.
OG, Jake's talking to you, I think.
Well, he says, I will be on Lunatic Lounge tonight. I was just on Chad Zuma. Well, there you go.
Yeah, there we go. It's just on Chad.
Jake, how much did you pay to?
Hang on a second. We need a quick.
I got a couple haters that want to hate on me now.
Who's hating on you?
OG Mumbling Nick.
Who's
and
Mumbling
Cryptid.
Get on that show.
Damn.
50 and Chad.
Boom, Jake, because Chad posted it.
I don't know, the most upsetting thing about that is that Chad took it. He's like sitting there saying he was telling Jake. I saw the little interview. I saw Jake on Chad. And Chad was like, "You shouldn't have to send. Don't send me money. You don't have to send me money to get on here." But he still took it. He still took Jake's $1.50.
That whole thing's fucked. I remember last time Jake had Chad on, he goes to me afterwards because I think I went on the stream after, and Jake's like, I didn't make anything off of Chad. He didn't bring the views or the donations. And then when he was live that day, where he went on Chad, where this video took place, I heard Jake say to his guest, he's like, I'm trying to get Chad on. That's when he literally sent him like his last $1.50. Over the $25 Dan from Nice Podcast Stupid gave him, which I think will get brought up again, which is like the third person that's repaid Kevin Brennan's debt. So that's another little scam Jake did. I know what Jake kept saying, KB owes me $25. And so then Mint Diggity paid it like right away. And then Jake kept saying it. He's like, someone else paid it, but it's the point. And then Dan just paid it. And I think there may have been one other person. At least. I don't know. So yeah, Jake got nothing from KB, but still got like $75 or whatever from other people. But anyway, yeah, Jake pays Chad the $1.50. Jake hates Chad, but wants Chad's rub. So it's just, Jake's, for a nice autistic boy, he does manipulate people a lot with how he treats them, with money, with celebrity. That seems to be like all he's into. And again, I feel bad even saying anything because it's probably a nice escape from his real life. So if he wants to do that to those type people, that's perfectly fine. But I don't know. I think us allowing Jake to treat people that are good to him like shit, we're doing a very big disservice. I wouldn't, if it was a child, we'd be fucking pissed. We'd be like, oh my God, where's his parents? Why is he acting like that? Well, he's a 32-year-old man. Now I know he's got, anger issues and shit like that. And he's going to make noises and mumble and have little tics and stuff like that. Would never make fun of Jake for any of that shit. But how he treats people, he seems to know right and wrong when it comes to that. So allowing him to continue to treat people like shit is not good, in my opinion.
But though Jake even literally said it was his last $1.50.
Do y'all notice how Nick doesn't really sound like someone that's concerned about a friend? It sounds like he's kind of.
Well, when my wife gets brought
attack.
into it, I kind of throw that shit out the window, Ava. Sorry.
Yeah, well, Jake can say whatever.
Hey guys, I don't know if anyone can hear me. I just lost internet. You can't hear it? Okay. They should be able to. All right. So I just got a thing from the internet company saying there will be service interruptions. They're doing work on the internet or whatever. So I have no Wi-Fi. I actually didn't even know this was still running. My one of my kids that's still up just told me it was still live. I just figured it just died. It was buffering and all that shit. So the video I was playing, the Liquid Cryptid video I was playing, was still playing on one screen, but the StreamYard was all buffering on me. So yeah, I'm gonna just have to end it, I think, because I don't know what else I can fucking do. But I appreciate everyone that showed up. I don't know, maybe I'll finish it tomorrow, whatever's left. Figure out where I left off. Sorry guys. Thank you all for showing up. Please go to Liquid Cryptid's channel, like and subscribe to his whole deal. I apologize. I don't know what the fuck happened there. Actually, I do know what happened there. I don't know why the fuck I just said that. Yeah, internet interruptions. They do that sometimes after like midnight or 1 a.m. where I am. If they gotta do fucking updates or shit, they try and do it on a weeknight at like 1 in the morning where they figure people are in fucking bed, but I'm not. So Nick, do you have radio speed? I'm an idiot, so I don't know. I don't know what I have Wi-Fi. I even have an Ethernet cable, but it's not that they're slow. There's nothing, and I checked the app, and they're doing work on the internet in my area. So I just think it's down completely while they do work. So I'm guessing that's it. So anyway, thanks everyone. I'm just gonna end this thing. Like I said, this thing would have ran forever because I thought it just ended on its own when I lost the internet, but it did not. So I will. Am I high? I'm sober as a motherfucker. Let me try and read this shit, dude. I'm blind. Hold on. Oh, maybe I am high. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Holy shit. All right. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Pecan, Cupcake, everyone that fucking came on, stuck around. I don't know what the fuck was going on. But yeah, I was basically just covering my co-host, shit, just so I can get my comments on it. Between like me, him, and Ava, and the whole fucking thing, because we're a crew together, but obviously there's a split and a divide going on right now. And the big question is, when is it trolling? When is it ball busting? And when is it being an asshole, I guess. So anyway, that's it. What are you bringing that shit in here? All right. Anyway, thanks, guys. I'll end this fucking thing. Have a good night. And as I said, I'll try and finish where I left off tomorrow. If anyone's interested, because he does have a second package. It's not nearly as long, but there's a little left in this package, and then he had a second package when Jake came on that I kind of wanted to go over. So I'll just do that tomorrow. It'll obviously be a short stream, but anyway, thank you all. Peace.
Hey, ladies of the Dabbleverse, I'm good at eating pussies.
Mumbling Nick in the back room, Clary. Cool pineapple rules, too strength to bear. It's the C-Set Kid, you've got some flair. Time to break the chains and take the air. I will try my best, won't let it rest. With a mic in hand, I'll ace this test. From the shadows to the limelight's crest, I will try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best. Nick's voice stumbles, but the words ignite. In the chaos, truth takes flight. No more scripts, no boss in sight. He's got his dream, he'll do it right. I will try my best, won't let it rest. With a mic in hand, I'll ace this test. From the shadows to the limelight's crest, I will try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best. Nick's voice stumbles, but the words ignite. In the chaos, truth takes flight. No more scripts, no boss in sight. He's got his dream, he'll do it right. I will try my best, won't let it rest. With a mic in hand, I'll ace this test. From the shadows to the limelight's crest, I will try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best. Interviews roll, stories unfold. Mumbling no more, his voice turns bold. Mr. C cheers from the sidelines cold. They go pineapple left in the cold. Now the studio's his, the future bright. Nick's own podcast is guiding light. No more whispers, his tone takes flight. He's soaring now with all his might. Yeah!
Taz, if you want me to go down on you, I will. I'll try my best.